All right. Settle down out there. Settle down. We're here. We're here. Let's see. Checking on everything. Is microphone working? Yes. What we don't have is my musics, my tunes. Wait. Here we go. Set that up. Oh yeah, there we go. Nice little. Lower that on my headphones. Make that nice little ambient sound. There we go. Now we've got some musical backing. Hey, welcome in everybody. Happy Tuesday. Back on our proverbial and or literal bullshit. Struggle Bus, Phoenix Scientist, you are here and I'm happy about that. Good to see you both. It is Tuesday. I had nothing to do with the whole work situation though. On the contrary, it is amazing the levels with which I am not associated with work at any level at this moment in my life is just absolutely fucking lootly amazing, my friend. I mean, on the other hand, one could say I'm putting in the work right now. Either way, not my fault. Not my fault. I did not make it Tuesday. Tuesday just kind of happened, and here we are. And Phoenix Science, we are the shenaniganry that we are about to inflict upon you, and by extension the world at large, is that will continue in what has become Curseborne month. And today we're getting hot and or spicy as we are going to be taking a look at the primals, which those of you who've tuned in before and are aware of the many and varied connections of the Dan indie tabletop RPG just grousing cinematic universe. I'm not a fan of the werewolves, not a fan of the shifters in general. Specifically the werewolves. I'm okay with changing breeds. The problem is once you have changing breeds, you're still effectively playing in the world of darkness with the werewolves, and I did not like the werewolves. So I have some baggage. Again, all on me. I have the baggage, but let's see if Curseborne divests itself. It's already taken some nice swings. It's definitely put its own particular flavor on the various supernatural types. They are recognizable as what they are, but there are hints and whiffs here and there of stuff from World of Darkness, just because some things are tropes for a reason, right? But overall, they're doing a good job of making this an original IP that still has very much a spiritual kind of sequel here. So I'm digging that. Let's see, day off because of scheduling weirdness, but you have a thing for a bit and will disappear from the stream. No worries, Phoenix. Well, I appreciate you showing up anyway, even on your day off. I mean, look, when you show up during work, that's really when it counts, right? That's like you're taking time off work. You're shoving it to the man by being here on your days off. Please, no, those are for you. Those are for you. When you need to stick it to the man, though, I'm here. You put me in the background. It's all good. It's all good. No worries. Thanks for letting me know though, just in case. You're like, oh, Phoenix has been real quiet this stream. I guess they're just big werewolf fans. On that note, kicking the last of the illness. Yeah. Oh, hey, yeah, right. Yeah, you've been a sleepy boy. I'm glad to hear that you're feeling better. Good. I for one spent my morning out in the park, because I mean, if I'm not going to be getting paid, at the very least, I can enjoy, getting to spend a morning out in the park and reading. I was reading my Monster of the Week book, and quickly for two reasons. One, I want to run some Monster of the Week, so I'm hoping to be able to put up for start playing. I'm hoping to be able to offer up a couple of sessions of Monster of the Week. I've played it enough times that I think I've got a good handle on it, because Monster of the Week is a choice for me because it is a powered by the apocalypse kind of game, and as I've mentioned in previous episodes, in previous streams, I have a history with those. I was actually joking with the guys this morning. Half joking, because I think I'm actually gonna do this as a troll, but I think I might do this. So, some of you may know the story about how Dungeon World nearly broke my podcast, my gaming group, to bits. Specifically, it was the first time we were playing. I think we played something. I think we played Monster Hearts before, but Monster Hearts is Monster Hearts. It's very unique, and so let's thank you for calling out, Fandible. And we tried to play Dungeon World, and that was the first time I think we had, because for Monster Hearts we had a guest GM, and they were very good, and they guided us through a lot of stuff. And we thought, okay, cool, we got this, we understand what's going on, and so we tried to play some Dungeon World, and that game nearly broke us. We hated everything about it, in large part because we didn't understand it. We were looking at it from a trad RPG source. We were trying, it was selling itself as Dungeon World, and we were thinking, okay, cool, it comes from Apocalypse World. None of us had played Apocalypse World, but it sounded like some sort of gritty post-apocalyptic gameplay, and so Dungeon World was probably some gritty fantasy dungeon roleplay. Cool. And then we tried it out. I think this game. Did Dungeon World have sex moves? I think it did. You'll find that very few PBTA games these days have sex moves. But a lot of the early ones had them. I don't remember if Dungeon World has sex moves. So I'm not going to knock it on that. But we now, again, with time, with greater wisdom, I understand what was going on with some of them, but at the moment it was like, brother, what? No. Anyway, point is, one of the things in that game that drove us absolutely wild was we did not understand properly what tagging was for. We kept looking and like, all right, cool. So my weapon says it is large, it has the large tag. What does that mean? Like, do I have a bonus? Do I have a minus? What does it mean mechanically that my weapon is large? This other weapon has a tag for big. What does that one mean? What is it? What is the difference between big and large? And then we start looking, and the fucking game has these definitions like big, C large, large, C huge, huge, C big. What? Holy! I saw that, and I nearly threw. Did we have the book? I think we had the PDF. Good, because if we'd had the book, I would have thrown the book across the table. I didn't throw the PDF because it was either a laptop or a tablet, and either way, expensive. But I think I would have, if it had been the physical book, I know I would have just fucking launched that across the table for myself at that point. We just didn't click with it at all. Now I understand. Now I understand that, powered by the Apocalypse games and the moveset, which, part of my problem with those games originally was that the quote unquote moves felt really restrictive. In the past, you usually have, okay, so let's go for more, quote unquote traditional tabletop RPG. You go into a situation, and you have your character sheet, and you have your stats, and you have your abilities, and you have your powers, and your equipment and stuff. That's like 9 out of 10 tabletop RPGs. That's what you have. And so you go into a situation, something comes up that you have to do. Puzzle that needs to be solved, a challenge that needs to be overcome, an enemy that needs to be defeated, whatever the situation is, a person that needs to be convinced. And you look at your character sheet, and you're like, what can my character do in this situation? And you look at your skills, and you try to figure out which skills, what things that my character is good at, can I use? Oh, well, my character is better with this skill than this other skill, so I'm going to try and use this skill for this, etc., etc. If I don't have the skill for something, I'm not going to be good at it, blah, 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 blah. But it is a sort of prescriptive kind of thing where the things my character can do are defined by what's on the character sheet. And, that's not entirely wrong for probably Apocalypse games, but in a Power by the Apocalypse game, if you look at your character sheet in that way, in that sort of like, what can I do? What can my character do here? And you're trying to pick one of those from the list, you're gonna have a bad time. The moves, and part of the reason why they in the books they specifically call them triggering moves rather than doing moves, because you're meant to role play much more floaty, as it takes a larger scope in actions than traditional. Yeah, there is that. There's definitely that, but also there's the fact that you're embodying. To a point, you're embodying an archetype. The playbooks are prescriptive in the sense that the type of character you're playing is defined by what's inside the playbook. They give you a lot of freedom within that, but if you're playing a rebellious character, then within that playbook, you're going to find a lot of things related to them rebelling. And if you're playing a convincing or charming type of playbook, then you're going to find a lot of stuff in there, triggers when you're trying to convince or talk to people or be charming at people or whatever, stuff like that. But they're all triggers. They're not usually, you don't choose. For example, I'm looking at Monster of the Week right now, and one of the default abilities is like use magic. Except you will not usually go like, all right, I'm going to do my use magic ability. I'm going to use magic in this scene. Depending on what your character is, you might be a chosen one, you might be a specialist, you might be a dark wizard, whatever. Don't quote me on the specific playbook names right now. I'm still refreshing myself on this. But you would just do what your character does. If I am playing, the chosen one, and I want to, activate this ritual that will hide me from the enemies that I learned in a previous scene, blah blah blah, whatever. I'm going to just describe. All right, cool. I use the ritual. Okay, cool. Well, it sounds like you're trying to use magic. Here's what you roll for that. This is the roll for that. In almost everything, it should be like you reply. Okay, it's like, okay, sounds like you're trying to do X. You don't usually, as a player, you don't usually call out the move names so much. I mean, you can again, but this is how I kind of do it in my head. It's like just play your character. Like that's the point of Powered by the Apocalypse games, by PBTA games. You're supposed to simply do what your character would do, and based on what that is in the fiction, it triggers certain things to happen mechanically. So rather than specifically saying, attack with your specific type of weapon or whatever, you're doing a more generalized combat style move that is being triggered because you attacked with your sword. And that may have different effects depending on your playbook. So again, it's a different approach. It's less, I think it's meant to be sort of a reverse from what you have. Again, standard RP, these until you memorize your character sheet. You're going to do an action, you look down at your character sheet, pick a skill, and then choose it, describe your action, roll, and then describe your action, however you want to do it. With Powered by the Apocalypse, you're not looking at the character sheet much, if at all. You only have a few moves anyway, so very quickly you learn what triggers them. You learn what types of actions you can take in character to trigger the moves that you want. But until then, you're leaning on the keeper, you're leaning on your guide, on your storyteller a little to remember, the moves and the standard moves and all that. But the focus is on just play your character, just act and react as your character would. And this will trigger moves. And if you're playing your character in the way that they're sort of meant to be, or at least in a way that fits in with whatever archetype your playbook actually represents, then you're going to be triggering your moves more often. and pulling off hopefully cool stuff with those moves. So yeah, it's not, now that I've gotten a better feel for it. Like I said, I want to try and run it. I want to try and run a few sessions, and if I dig it, then kind of keep them going. So we'll see how that goes. But on that note, we're actually here to talk about something that's not in any way, shape, or form powered by any sort of apocalypse, and that is, of course, the Curseborne Kickstarter stuff. We are today looking at the Primal from the Backer Draft Manuscript Part 2D. Before we get into the Primal, honestly though, like since we've got a few minutes before the first official ad break of the day, let's actually go back a bit and just look at these outcasts and where did we leave off? Because we finished them off on time last time very well, and I just want to do like one last sort of look back now that we've had a couple of days to look back. So the outcasts, they are they're the demons, right? They're the supernatural, half demon, half outsider, half angel, half whatever. And I'm trying to pull up the little list. Here we go. Their whole thing is like that they are half human. They have like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. We've got the whole thing with the battleground angels, so your space marine supernaturals. You've got your chimerae, who are sort of like your they've got a little bit of Nosferatu. They've got a little bit of like they add parts to themselves. The Nephilim, who were what was it about the Nephilim actually? Wait, the Nephilim, I think we had some doubts about them. Well, there was something that didn't quite fit. Let me see. Nephilim. Here we go. Oh, right, because they're traveling. Yeah, so the Nephilim is weird because they are, I think the Nephilim is kind of like a bit of a, now looking back at it, because I kept picturing them as Eshu. I kept picturing them as travelers. And there is that, yes. But the more I think about it, the more they sound like a little bit like Hell's Angels, like in that whole, like again, Vin Diesel, definition of family, like we're still all criminals, and we never stay still, and maybe, we stretch lots, we know people everywhere. Yeah, anyway, so they're interesting. Look, all of them I like. The Keepers of the Broken Vine, your Druids, you got your Munificents, which are sort of like the Tempter Angels, the Crossroads ones. The Crossroads ones were interesting because they were actually, this is one of the few you can actually become one. Apparently, you make a deal at a Crossroads and you become effectively a Crossroads demon, which I dig. Like overall, I really like. There was some stuff that was a little confused. Again, this is early stage material, but overall, I really like what they're doing here. I cannot wait to actually see the descriptions of some of these powers. I'm curious to see, but overall, they got the outcasts got a pretty solid like B+ to A. I think once they clean up everything else, they might be my favorite one so far. Let's see if that keeps up. Somehow I doubt that the fact that, because the first ones we saw were the dead, and I was like, oh, these are really cool. I like this. I would like to play this kind of dead, this kind of dead. Then we went to the Hungry, and I was a little worried. And then they convinced me. I was like, okay, cool. Another thing, related yet unrelated, is I'm severely debating. I don't know which I would want to run. I want to run some vampire. I think it's time. I think I'm willing to run some vampire. The question is, do I want to run Masquerade or do I want to run Requiem, like V5? So I remember not hating Requiem, except for like that one thing that made it feel like every time my vampire stepped into a room where there was another vampire, everything had to stop while we made a bunch of rolls to make sure it didn't immediately break into a bloodbath. I think I don't know if they kept that rule in the latest version, or if they toned it down, or if I just simply misunderstood the original rule. But it certainly felt like it was like the intention of the rule was like, oh yeah, vampires are always like just one bad second away from going feral on one another, which I get. I get that you want that vibe, but I don't know. I don't know. It felt like a little bit too. I think it was toned down, more possible chest beating, but less throat. Yeah, yeah. Okay, good. I would hope so. Like, I don't mind that whole like, oh yeah, predators immediately like recognize other predators and hackles raise and whatnot. But the fact that it was like so easy for it to immediately devolve into okay, roll initiative uh was dissuaded me. And I think pretty much everybody kind of house ruled that. I think even as written it was meant to be like it's the first time, and it's and even in the wording it might have been like, oh, and it's like, oh yeah, well, they took you by surprise. Like, you walk into your apartment and there's another vampire in there. Okay, like, roll rage or roll whatever the fuck it was. For some situations it makes sense that like your beast is going to react in that way, but to a certain point it should be like, yeah, like, tone it down at the very least to like, okay, cool, like your beast is cowed, or your beast is feeling aggressive towards what it feels is a lesser thing, so to lesser being, a prey being. So this is going to affect your interactions here in the following way. Bonuses or minuses to rolls, or whatever your system says. The whole door system with socials or whatever. So let's see now though. All of that. I'm I need to go through both systems and decide for myself what I want to offer. Because right now, all I've got an offer for my services is, and I want to offer things I want to offer in the long run are probably going to be Curseborne as a sort of World of Darkness substitute, and DC 20 as a Dungeons and Dragons substitute, because I don't want to run Dungeons and Dragons for people, man. I just don't want to run Dungeons and Dragons. I'm kind of bored with D&D. I don't want to go into one of those like, guys, play anything but D&D kind of rants, because I don't want to I don't want to yuck anybody else's yum. If D&D is your jam, fuck yeah, go for it. I like D&D. I don't mind D&D. I hate Hasbro, Wizards of the Coast, but that's, I'm also just generally anti-corporation in general. But D&D, look, I grew up with D&D. I literally learned to read from my dad's old, like first edition red box games, and before the word editions, when it was like Advanced Dungeons and Dragons and Advanced Dungeons and Dragons second edition. And all that stuff. I've got my 3.5 book, and I've got my 4th edition books, which I will die on this hill. 4th edition is not a bad game, not necessarily a good Dungeons and Dragons game, maybe, but it's not a bad game. It does not deserve the hate. Honestly, that's another one that I want to do at some point. Maybe if this keeps going long enough, I could do some kind of special stream where I start going over the 4th edition books. I've got them right there, and proving to you people, 4th edition, not a bad game at all, actually. But anyway, those are games I want to run in the future, but neither one of these is done. So that's going to be like, assuming I'm still around and still trying to do this in a year. For now though, I've got World of Darkness with the God Machine Chronicles, and then I want to offer a Monster of the Week, and I want to offer a vampire game. The vampire game is the one that I'm like not sure yet if I want Masquerade or Requiem. I gotta think about it. D&D is quickly becoming the go-to cash grab database for anyone looking to do something new for the current channel, say Good Mythical Morning. I'm struggling with that being the case when the systems serve. Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, like, there are people who go on social media and they'll try play. Some of them have good intentions. Some of them are just angry. Some of them are, but it comes off, unfortunately, to a lot of people, it comes off as preachy. Because a lot of people, look, they just genuinely love D&D. I genuinely love D&D. Again, I have a lot of love for Dungeons and Dragons. It's been part of who I am as a person for a very long time. But having had it in my life that long, what I want to do with my time is try any one of the others, of thousands and thousands of other games, many of which are, on par, if not better, than D&D, or, whether at being the kind of game that D&D wants to be, or just at being something else. D&D is a specific kind of game. It's part of my pet peeve is when people insist on using D&D for other stuff that's not D&D, as if somehow the D&D system was some kind of default generic universal system, a GURPS kind of thing, and it's not. D&D is D&D. But that's a whole other pet peeve. I don't mind necessarily D20 systems in general, but use a D20. There are D20 systems that are meant for other genres. Don't just take the D&D rules and slap a coat of whatever else you want on it. It's like, come on, there are games that are built to give you that. You want space horror? Holy shit, Mothership is out. We live in 2024. Mothership is out. Try that. Anyway, before I get back on it, 4th edition good system, or at least better than other. It is. You were tired on it, and you can rant on why. No worries. I mean, I haven't played 4th edition in over 15 years. I may be looking at it in rose-colored glasses, but a lot of people, I think it does not deserve the hate it gets. But we'll talk about it when we get back from the ad break. You knew it was coming. It's that time. Let's get that out of the way real quick, and then we'll go back and finally dive right into the primals. On that note, check out Stars Without Number for sci-fi. Yes, I actually just got a copy of Stars Without Number finally, a long time, very recently. Haven't had time to sit down and go through it, but I'm excited for that one. I might actually do it for the stream. Anyway, be right back. I'm just saying, Phoenix, I started reading your comment. You're playing Stars Without Number, and you adjusted at that point, my mind just cut off the text and replaced it with, we adjusted it so that there is, in fact, a number of stars. That number is 436. And in my mind, for some reason, that is what you said, and I was about to react to it. This is what it's like to be me. I suspect that's an actual symptom of a mental disorder. But thankfully, I stopped, and I did not react to that. I reacted to anyway, 436 stars. That's just gonna be my spin-off of Stars Without Number. 436. Actually, that's the number, comma, of stars. No, so the oh no, this whole thing. Going back. I just showed this entire half-hour stream to my therapist. If he ever doubts me that I have ADHD, this whole story. We've been going around a circle. Stars a set of a set number exactly. Was and talking about plowed by the apocalypse. That's Monster Hearts 3. Um, Powered by the apocalypse games, and that whole rant is that I was joking with the gang this morning, and I said it as a joke, but now I kind of want to make it, which is an absolutely utterly unplayable tabletop RPG that is just a complete circular set of rules references, like dozens, if not hundreds, of pages of rules, all of which refer to other rules for definitions, completions, and mechanics. And those definitions, completions, and mechanics just keep referring to other rules until eventually you will end up back where you started, um, not knowing a goddamn thing. Um, yes, it is. It's an absolute engineering nightmare. I think it would be a legitimate challenge to make something that fucked up. But truly, talk about Curseborne. Talk about a world made of curses. A game that is just cursed in its inception, in its playability. Phoenix, I might take you up on that. Again, I said it as a joke this morning, and then we all went ha ha ha. But actually, though, I'm already thinking of the sequel. First of all, the name of this would be Big C Large, and I'm already thinking of the sequel. And the sequel would be called Large C Big, and it's an entire book that's all references to the first one. Uh, you know, I just to make my life even more hell. I feel like I want to inflict this on the world now that I've thought about it. Um, I mean, I'm working on my own other game that's an actual game, but I could also just work on an absolute fucking horror, a just an insult to the genre, a double middle finger as I fall back into hell, uh, you know, to the archangel, to Lucifer, of tabletop RPGs, I think. And then that just makes me want to do it all the more. Anyway, speaking of, hang on, you just list the references pages for the other terms that you make the same follies of other systems we've gone over and not include. Why would I include first of all, I don't know. Actually, no, no, no. Here's the thing. I was gonna say that we would have references pointing to nowhere, but no, 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 no. I want this thing to be complete. I want it to be self-contained. No matter where you start on your journey, you should be able to find your way back to that starting point. Honestly, the entire diagram should just be a circle, which is not that hard to design, except I do want it to branch off. So it really should just be a few circles connected here and there. No dead ends, only circles. Exactly, exactly. No dead ends, only circles. The world's worst choose your own adventure book. Yeah, no, well, no, fractals. Look, I have limits. I know this is hard. This is hard to comprehend when you gaze upon the magnificence of everything that's here. I understand that it's easy to think that I am capable of just going full fractal, but I'm not. I'm not. I'm mostly human. Um, and I can't. But I think circles. I think about think soap bubbles connected is what I'm thinking here. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Maybe that might be a Friday attempt at committing a stream. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see. But with all that in mind, having discussed the many games and things out there that have nearly destroyed us, and in fact planned out inflicting a truly a cosmic horror onto the gaming scene, let's actually get back on topic and look at the primals. Am I going to hate this with every fiber of my being, or am I going to be so yeah, circles made of circles. Again, I'm thinking soap bubbles. Ooh, Scum. I don't know, isn't there a Scum game? I think it's Scum VM. Is there a Scum tabletop? Probably. Anyway, let's see. Backer Draft Manuscript Part 2D Lineages. The Primal. And we, of course, start with what looks to be like a werewolf. Girl werewolf, I think. But werewolf-ess, if you must. Let us see what we hate. I mean, what we like about this. The Primal. Now, who's our, do we have, I'm Izzy. Okay, Izzy Plumber. Get of Leica. Great. I mean, good. Get it out of the way quick. Show me what a werewolf Get of Leica. There's like the Get of Fenris. Get of Fenris was one of the more problematic ones in old World of Darkness. So already we're making a reference to one of the most problematic out of a whole problematic game line. Lycan, probably something along those lines. Let's see. But good. Rip the bandage off early. That body armor's cute. I'll have to use my claws. I don't want to get it stuck in my teeth. Leica as in lycanthropy, or Leica the first Leica. No, Leica is L-I-A. No, L-A-I-K-A. Leica is what her name was spelled like. One of the goddamn true heroes. All right. I'm not your friend. I'm not your sister. I'm just a curse like you. Just like you, there's a creature inside me that loves to hunt, snap, and bite. So, if you know what's good for you, you'll quit with the whining and listen to what I'm telling you. Pass me one of those if you're gonna smoke. Ah, shit. Let me do it. Your hands are shaking. Look, I know what you're going through. It's not cool and it's not fun, but it is what it is. And you gotta make the best of a shitty situation. Thanks for the smoke. This thing we've got makes me excitable, distractible, catty, I guess, and energetic. Sometimes I get punchy, and it takes a minute for me to realize I just called someone a cunt. Did that shock you? Yeah. So, normally I wouldn't talk to a little prep like you, and I'm sure you wouldn't piss on me if I was on fire. I'm Izzy, but you probably knew that. So, what are you? Wolf? Snake? Spider? Something in between? Not ready for that yet? Alright, the basics then. Primal 101. Let's get that covered before we head back to class. Lunch break's only so long, and I don't want to get reamed out by Smith for turning up to French lessons on Pew Todd. The way the older primals like to tell it, there's a lot of origin stories, like Spider-Man, except we're wild and varied enough that most of them are partly true. The best one I heard was how a mother, years and years ago, was struggling to feed her children. She tried foraging, she tried hunting, but life was shit. She had no fire and she had no tools. Her children were dying, but this story doesn't get all Grave of the Fireflies. Love all that Ghibli shit. Anyway, a man comes to her door and tells her she's on his land and needs to leave if she can't pay. He demands a payment there and then. This woman, she has nothing. This man, he's what's called a family head for the hungry. More on them later. He's a special kind of asshole. She begs, pleads, offers up what she has, which isn't much. He offers her a deal, but nobody knows what that deal was because it's the one thing she won't do, meatloaf style. He says her kids will starve if she won't accept. He gives her till the morning and walks off. That night, the woman prays to everything. Let me pause real quick, because unless this conversation is taking place in the 90s, I look at this face. I don't know. Let's just look at this face. I don't know if you can tell, but I don't exactly have my pulse on the finger of what the youths are up to. But I'm gonna take a wild guess, a stab out there, and say that the kids in high school, because which seems to be the vibe that we're getting here, the kids in high school don't make meatloaf references. I don't think the kids know who Mr. Loaf, please. Mr. Meat is my father. Mr. Loaf is my father. Call me Meat. Um, um, I don't think the kids know about meatloaf. So, Onyx Path, if you're watching, um, I dig it. I dig it. I'm Gen X. I don't think that is what you don't think they're making dashboard lights references. I mean, maybe. Could be. I mean, look, I again do not have my fingers on any kind of pulse, much less the pulse of the underage. FBI, are you watching? Jesus Christ, no. But I you know, maybe they are. Maybe they're making meatloaf references. Maybe I don't know. I'm not about to go out to a high school and go, hey, girls, over here. Got a question. Yeah, right. Talk to this guy. Yeah. Hello. Yes, high school girls. No, I'm not about to. I'm not. I'm okay. Certain mysteries. I'm fine not knowing. For at least not investigating myself. Should an answer be presented? Should it turn out, in fact, that the kids are hip to meatloaf, and I'm wrong, I'll be glad to be wrong. Look, I no longer Simpsons style. I was once with it, but then what it is changed, and now I'm no longer with it. It'll happen to you. I went to a concert a couple of weeks ago. Thank you, Jesus, by the way, for giving me a free ticket. And it was for a punk band, which I had never heard of, this punk band, but they were very good. And on my way there, I of course did not have a band T-shirt because I'd never heard of these guys before. But I saw a whole bunch of people heading to the concert. And they were wearing the band shirts. They were wearing band merchandise. They were wearing the band's shirt. And back when I used to go to concerts, back in my day, I remember when we used to play with the spoons. We liked it that way. Oh no! Back when I used to go to concerts more regularly in my youth, it was considered really dorky, really uncool. It was an unwritten rule that you did not wear the band's merch to the band's concert. It was gauche. It was considered lame. You were uncool. You were a dork. And then I went to that concert and then no, then my friends arrived and I asked around, those who had who'd gone to other concerts, and I go hey, look, I'm gonna be honest, it's been a while. It's been a while since my last concert. I'm kind of a homebody. I hide in my cave. So is that not a thing anymore? Are we okay with the band? I'm fine. I don't hate it. In fact, I kind of dig that now we're allowed to. In fact, it appears to be kind of even encouraged that you show up with the band's merch and doing your support for the band. I think it shows that this was back during the era of again, my particular generation. Where we were too cool for school, showing any kind of sincerity, showing any kind of willingness to show honest appreciation. Like everything had to be seen through 5 layers of irony, and all that. And that's not it anymore, right? That's not the vibe that everything is in for. Being cool does not mean being ironically detached at all times. And that's cool. I like that. So here's how I'm tying all this back. You think I wasn't, you think I was just rambling, and I am, but also I'm tying it back to where we left off, which is what do I hate about this? Not yet. Actually, I don't hate anything about this, but what I'm thinking here is werewolf and white wolf in general. Actually, I actually saw a video from a guy that I actually don't agree with on a lot of stuff. I'm not gonna call them out by name, but they have made some they make some points, and then they kind of go off on some other points regarding um, how more recent World of Darkness and Vampire games have differed from the old ones. And they went into a little bit of the whole like, oh, has Vampire gone too woke, blah blah blah. I mean, not outright there, but boy, oh boy, was there a lot of sort of talking down to the millennials kind of vibe. And fuck you, dude. Just let people enjoy what they enjoy. Just the existence of something new that is not exactly what you had in the past is not a fucking. It does not take away what you had in the past. The old vampire books are still there. Nobody's taking them away from you. There's no fucking tabletop RPG Gestapo coming to your house taking away your old edition books. All right, they didn't fucking ruin anything. They made something new. If you didn't like it, fine. The stuff that you still did like is still there and fucking untouched. Fucking grognards. Yeah, well, exactly. So, White Wolf has been around long enough that there are grognards. I myself could be considered a White Wolf grognard. Also a D&D grognard, honestly. Like, again, I learned to read with this shit, but I try not to get stuck in the past. I'm always excited for the new shit, so that's how I differ there. But the point here is that this person was saying was that, and in this one thing I do agree, is that the environment matters, and the environment in which the old World of Darkness books were made, and the whole sort of gothic punk aesthetic of them was born of the time. It was a product of its time for both good and bad. I don't think you count as a grognard if you aren't a little shit about it. All right, fair. Although also, I mean, I can be a little shit about a lot of things. I just try not to be a little shit about that in specific. But it was a product of its time, both in the good and bad ways. And so one of the things that this person had to say about the newer ones, Vampire, Requiem, V5, and even a little bit of the V20 revised stuff, is that it too is a product of its time. Vampire the Requiem is a game for a more millennial crowd rather than a more sort of 90s crowd. And so, it changes the flavor of it. It changes the kind of experience that you're presenting. And if you're looking for that gothic punk experience from Requiem, you're going to have a bad time. And I don't think that should be that controversial to say. It does not necessarily mean, Masquerade good, Requiem bad. It just means Masquerade Requiem different. Yeah, and the rest is just personal goddamn preference. But they're different games. And I think people get so hung up on thinking that it's like, well, no, it's Vampire. It should be like Vampire, the Vampire that I grew up with, the Vampire that I had. I'm 100% sure that there are people going to be looking at fucking Curseborne and docking it points and saying this is trash and I will never play it because it's not Chronicles of Darkness. It's not their version of Chronicles of Darkness, or World of Darkness, whatever of darkness it is these days. Exactly. The new different system is different. How dare they? This is why we can't have women and minorities in anything, because they ruin it all. Somebody just is going to clip that and I'm going to fucking get viral for the wrong reasons. Point is, look, okay, games are different. Different games are different. In these very streams, going and comparing it to what came before. Of course, there's nothing wrong with comparing to what came before. We at risk of fucking paraphrasing a politician, we exist within the context of all that has come before us. yeah, I'm going to compare it to what we had before, compare and contrast, but comparison is not necessarily a value judgment. It is not a, this is different and therefore it is bad. It is, oh, this is different and here is how. Big difference there as well. For example, when I do that, this is different, here's how, you are educated. When you do that, this is different and that is what is bad, then you are bad. It works. It's pretty simple logic. Anyway, let's get back to this. I still feel weird about the meatloaf reference though, unless maybe this was happening in the 90s. Okay? We wonder why it takes me 3 hours to get through 4 pages. We're like 7 minutes away from ads again. We haven't even got, Jesus Christ, we got past the cover page. We're not even halfway through the first page. Oh, you never wondered. Yeah, true. You knew. Yeah, you knew. I mean, look, I'm just saying, in the future, once stream archaeologists are watching this in horror and dismay, that night, good. I'm glad you do, because I'm not. This is what you're getting. This is what you're getting. All right, I'm gonna stop doing the voice. I don't like her voice. It's not fun to do. Also, I wasn't sure what I was going for before. I thought it was going to be kind of like this biker wolf girl thing, and it ain't. Taint. It's high schoolers. I am not confident in my ability to do high school girl voices. I don't know, man. You know what? Let's try. Fuck it. Fuck this. Okay, you know what? You're here. You know what you signed up for. Can I do this? Does this work? Is this going to be a thing that works? Let me try something. The pipeline is, I like this thing, and I want to believe I am good. So, parenthesis, so this thing must be good. If this is good and something else is different, it must be bad. People who like that thing must be bad. Yeah, no, exactly. And also there is the whole, and if somebody else says the thing that I like is bad, if the thing that I like was bad, that would make me bad, but I am not bad. So the thing that I like cannot be bad. So therefore, the person saying that the thing that I like is bad. I must tweet them. I must tweet at them. Okay, this is not working. Why is voice mod? I think I have to reinstall voice mod. Never mind. Can I kill voice mod then? If you're not going to start up, I'm going to kill you. Can I close window? There we go. We have a, oh boy, did we leave a process open? Did we leave a voice mod process open? Let's see. What do we got here? A whole bunch of processes. Okay, just making sure we didn't leave a voice mod running. All right, I'll have to reinstall that maybe for tomorrow's stream. Oh well, but you don't get high school girl voice from me, even though I technically have the technology to make it happen. Maybe during the next ad break, I'll see if I can put it together. I might be able to reinstall voice mod in the time it takes for an ad break. You know what? That's an option, but it's not ad break time yet. So alas, you'll have to put up with lack of voice mod, teenage voice girl. In fact, I'm pretty sure I can finish. No, there's a lot more to come in teenage girl voice. So let's kind of just go back here to Meatloaf and see where we go. So that night, the woman prays to everything: the trees, the river, the rocks, the wind, the beasts in the forest. She says, anything but him. Only the wolf answers her. Was it an actual wolf named Laika, or the wolf raging inside her? Whatever. It doesn't give her money or food, but it does give her the elemental strength to fight back. This thing, it also offers her a deal. Let it into her heart, and she's golden. When the man turns up the following morning with his muscle, she becomes a monster. He begs and pleads and offers up what he has, and while she knows deep down she could stop, the creature urges her on. Fueled by years of being shit on by men like him, she eats his heart clean out of his chest. Doesn't end there. She still doesn't have food, and the kids are hungry, so she tells them to eat the man and his friends. You're wondering, what's this got to do with me? Well, that depends on who you ask. Maybe you're that woman's descendant, or descend from someone like her, or you, yourself, made a deal with raw nature without knowing it. Maybe it was when those pricks from the football team wouldn't leave you alone after the big game, right? Right. You had to fight back to survive, so you did. Point is, just as that woman turned into a screaming, fierce death machine, you can too. I'm sure you know that part already. I said earlier that we're not friends or sisters, but I guess that's not exactly accurate. Primal, like us, are in all kinds of families of beasts and weirdos, and like the mother in the story, we look after our young. Yeah, I know you're older than me, but in primal years, you're just a baby. Picking up the trail, the Primal are known for their energy and impatience, and perhaps you're the same. Maybe you'd like to get straight into the guts of playing one. This chapter starts with Izzy talking about life as a Primal, what the lineage is about, before moving on to the rules for playing one. If you're looking for a specific section of this material, use this reference, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so we'll get the shape-shifting mechanics and the lineage path, the damnation torments, and then the paths are the 8 hands. I'm assuming those are the bug, the spider people. Get a Flyca, so we got our werewolves. The hides, interesting. Because I'm thinking Jekyll and Hyde. I'm thinking you transform into a different type of human. The raptor path, so I'm thinking birds, maybe dinosaurs. The spawn of Vodnik path, I hope that's fish people. Spawn feels squamous to me. And the Sphinx path, which I'm hoping is cats. Cat girls, bring me in. Country, taking me home, country road to the place where the cat girls roam. I guess that's where we're finishing up. So excited to see that. Sphinx definitely seems interesting. Exactly. We're all big fans of cat girls here on the chat. So with cat girls dancing merrily in our minds, we will be back after these ads. Gotcha. All right, there we go. Can you all hear me? Whoa, am I spiking? I think I might be spiking a little. Let me turn that down a bit. Right, there we go. Is that better? Yeah. How do I sound, folks? Do I sound okay? Hopefully I sound okay right now. I'm going to try something real quick. We can hear, though, a little blown out. Yeah, okay. So I'm adjusting something. And I'll adjust it back if this is too crazy. Yeah, definitely. Gonna pull you back here a bit. There we go. And then we're gonna kind of go here. And right now, turn that off. No, so clean mic, I guess, is what it should be going. Voice volume. Let's kind of lower that bit. There we go. That's Hopefully a little better. My S was a bit sharp before. All right, is this any better? How's this sound? Is this good? Is this perfect? Is this better? Hopefully this is a decent sound now. Maybe not. All right, let's see here. There we go. It's definitely better than it was. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, and I was definitely blowing it out a bit. Now, with that in mind, I'm gonna go ahead and try something real stupid. Let's see here. So if I do this, what happens if I then do this?
I got this way a couple of years ago. I was 16 or 17, 16. Right around the time you and your friends started making my school life hell. Well, home life wasn't much better. Seems like there's a balance issue, not a volume issue. Okay, cool. Ooh, I'm just trying something. But yes, why do it's different right now? No. Yes. I think it is. Hopefully it is. Okay, yeah, it is. Okay. Okay, so this is hopefully working. Connected to, well, actually, wait, where am I? No, wait. Where are you getting it from? You're getting it from your people. Okay, cool. There we go. Let's see here. Well, whole life wasn't much better, so don't take it all on yourself. You're not the only bitch in the world, Barbie. Barbie. Yeah, I know that's not your name. You start by seeing people differently. I was still gonna be. Actually, wait. I'm gonna click something and see if I can hear myself. You start by seeing people Oh my god, that was working. Yeah. Sorry, I'm listening to myself now, and that is horrible. I was looking at people and thinking, how easily could I take them down? Or, no, that's not to it. I don't like that. Okay, I'm gonna have to play with this later. There's that
I don't like. All right, I'm gonna go back. I'll play with this later when I'm not on air. Cool. There we go. Shift that, and let's go ahead and kill voice mod. That was fun. But no. Go. Oh my god. Yeah, right. Exactly. Look, a younger GLaDOS voice. All right, I'm gonna play with that because I was hearing there's like a hiss to it that I didn't. Yeah, I'm gonna need to play with those levels. But okay, so it turns out apparently there was an update that needed to be installed. And when it reinstalled the update, it did reset all my settings. Of course it did. Right, let us continue. Let's continue with this. See if we can actually get through a little bit. You start by seeing people differently. This is not gonna be little girl voice. I'm sorry. I tried. I say it because your volume seems lower now. Oh, right. Well, yes. No, I did lower. I did lower. There we go. Let me bring it back now. There we go. So that should be closer to what it was before. Apparently, I had to change it so from my little lapel mic from my wireless. Which, by the way, if anybody here is in the market for wireless mics, little wireless lapel mics, and you can plug in, like, these come with a whole set of adapters, like if you want an actual lavalier thing. The Holylands, holy shit, these are the Lark Max X3, worth every penny. Can recommend as good audio hardware, and just go ahead and look them up online. I'm so happy with these. But anyway, point is, normally I have this going into NVIDIA Broadcast, and then NVIDIA Broadcast comes out to here. Because NVIDIA Broadcast keeps a lot of the room noise away, does a little bit of the balancing and smoothing. But then for voice mod, I had to change it so this went to voice mod, and then from voice mod, then it went to NVIDIA Broadcast, and then from NVIDIA Broadcast came out to here. And somewhere in that chain, I think voice mod does its own rebalancing. And anyway, we'll clean it up. Hopefully audio is better now. Should be pretty much back to normal. Let's see. Oh, here we go. How easily could I take them down? Or that one looks like a born victim. It was like my vision narrowed and everything was in a new spectrum. I felt like the Predator. You watch that movie? Schwarzenegger? Chill fucking movie. They say it's all testosterone, but gives me that over the bold and the fucking beautiful. But give me that over the bold and the fucking beautiful any day. Okay, wait a minute. They're making way too many references, like Meatloaf, Predator, chill, Predator, chill movie. Schwarzenegger, Bold and the Beautiful, and there was a little bit before they said something about I guess that that like, you look older or something. That point is, I have a feeling that Izzy is a lot older than. Okay, so now this makes more sense. I mean, could be an '80s obsessed teen, but this whole thing about like here at the beginning, blah blah blah. Look, the basics, the way I know the Primal, this woman, no. Something about when you and your friends started making my school life hell. I missed it. Point is, like, she says something along the lines of, like, I was fine here and then y'all started annoying me, basically. So I have a feeling Izzy has a Cullen thing going on here. I have a feeling Izzy is older than they let on. I wonder if that's the case. Like the primals also stop aging. Let's see. Anyway, speaking of which, are we about to get another the more you know moment? Anyway, it prefaces the physical changes. Yeah, they were unpleasant for me too. One night I was in the bath, spirit box on loud, when bam, the shift. Different families call it different things. The shift, the change, the Proteus, blah blah blah. Anyway, I could feel my skin splitting right zip up the middle. My bones were twisting into new configurations, and it fucking hurt. Jesus, did it hurt. Everything was churning and squeezing its way into new shapes to fit a new body. I remember looking down over the mouth and nose extending into my vision and watching my legs burst into forests of fur, my fingers and toes turn to claws. You get the picture. Above Courtney LaPlante screaming, I could hear my screams. The bath filled with blood. I flopped out to the floor, more beast than girl. I've had better evenings. Want to know something funny? My mom was hammering on the door, but not because I was screaming. She wanted me to turn down the music. Anyway, I'm guessing you went through the same kind of thing. Oh, there were others around when you shifted, weren't there? Not so lucky as me. I wonder why I'd not seen your pals in school the last couple of days. I'm not going to ask, but I'm going to hope for your sake that you scared them away instead of ripping them to pieces. Feral from the beginning. Is this where you live? Nice. Look, I hope you have an easier time with it than some of the primals I know, but this is where we part ways, so you're welling up. Cute trick, Puss in Boots. Do you do the big eyes thing too? Okay, I'll come in with you if your parents aren't home for a while. I don't want them seeing me, though. I don't need their judgment for drinking their booze. Oh yeah, I'm having a drink, and you're going to join me. Look, primals have been around for a long, long time. I mean, thousands of years. It isn't about being in a world of smartwatches and CrossFit. We belong, if you ask your elders, in the wild places. Running free, howling in unison, or taking down predators as dangerous as us. Not all of us howl, though, and not all of us are into that whole survivalist lifestyle. I like a tree as much as the next girl, but I'm not about to run out and live in the woods, you know? At our core, nice vodka, by the way, we're possessed. Not like ghosts in a body, those fuckers aren't us. We're possessed by an uncontrollable drive that erupts and dominates us. That's how Elvis, and Ocho, I know, says it. He says some families are the embodiment of joy, holding maddening ecstatic dances deep in the woods, and some are the essence of wrath so blazing that it reduced entire civilizations to ash, and some still are possessed by a pride so great their deeds have transcended into myth and legend. Little rich, isn't it? I'd be a bitch about it, but those words seared into my brain. Elvis says our predecessors bought a power that saved their lives and gave them dominance over others, not to rule, but to survive. Now, I don't know about that. Since then, I've met some primals who are a little too keen on lording it over non-primals. Elvis named our providence as the Creature, but if you ask me, it's just a fun name for someone none of us have ever met. The Creature makes us faster, stronger, and longer lived. Aha! Longer lived than those without a curse. Lucky us! But remember that you're accursed, Barbie. None of this comes without a cost. The Creature in all of us is unpredictable. It's like something from a lost world left behind before humans learned to write. It's feral, it's cruel, it's easily provoked. My guess? The Creature is who we really are once you remove all the human stuff, or We're a vehicle for it, letting it reach out into the modern world. Or we're its children, varied and wild, I don't know. You won't either, but you'll do your best, or you'll die. Simple as that. To be laid out in like a handwritten letter in pretty sloppy handwriting. Grammatical errors are deliberate. Okay, good, as opposed to all the non-deliberate grammatical errors I've run into before. I told you I'm not a good person. Barbie! I thought to myself, Elvis did this for me, so I'll do it for Barbie. Maybe it'll help, and if she doesn't want it, she can ram it up her ass. So, they have a letter. You surround yourself with friends and hangers-on your whole life. Good news! While some Primal like to be all loner and antisocial as shit, most of us are actually pretty fucking social, so you can keep your friends and hangers-on, but give your fellow Primal some respect. You run the risk of your bio family getting all weird on you, but it's still important to stay connected. My rec is to move out soon and meet up for birthdays, weddings, funerals, families here and there though. You got a family with the Primals too. We're split into maybe a dozen families. There could be more. I only know the big ones. Good news again, they're not gonna hunt you down. Bad news, traditions, rituals, knowing when to wipe and when to wind your watch, as my dad says. It's not going to be easy, but you can depend on other Primals being there for you when things get rough. Here's something fun. Something we do together is carve up territory and claim it. Whatever's in the territory you have is yours, according to the older Primals. That includes mysteries, Barbie. You want something that'll ease your curse? You want to make a deal with a vampire? Yeah, they're real, and only a little like Twilight. You want to drive off drug dealers like you're a superhero? Or maybe you've seen a cop pushing his way around and want to bring him down to size? It's all there for you. The place is yours. We are nature, and nature presses her will on the world. If your territory is contested by other Primals, you can team up or have a big fight. Some of the older Primals think they're owed territory and what they call fealty. Had to look up the spelling. But they can go suck a fat one. There are other cursed people on your turf. You work out, are those guys friends or dickheads? Friends you make good with. Dickheads, you show them what you are. Anyway, the old ones like studying paper maps like they're in a war movie and mark it up with pins and shit. Me? Google Maps. My territory is not in a place with no reception, so why the fuck not? Don't be a stranger, dipshit. Don't be a stranger, dipshit, than you are, dipshit. Izzy. Letter ends. I like Izzy. I think Izzy is older than they let on. All those there's too many 80s references for in references to living longer and everything. I think Izzy is like stuck as a teenager somehow. Let's see. Many animals run together. Hey, I know it's late, but you were asking about a curse, so yes, I called. I know, how old-fashioned of me, but you picked up, so fuck off. Again, and now she's talking about how she's old-fashioned. Actually doing a phone call. Yeah, no, Izzy is my age. Izzy, that's creepy. Izzy, don't. I know you're helping. You're helping another feral shifter. Cool. Don't hang out around teenagers. You're my age. You're weird, Izzy. You're weird. Hey, okay. I mentioned vampires before. That's not exactly what they are. And then there's devils and ghosts. Shit, there's a lot to go through. We'll start with the outcasts. Outcasts are like prisoners here. They were in heaven or hell or something in between, and they got cursed into living with people like us. They're on the outside of where they want to be, always looking in. Nope, what the fuck? Oh, okay, I see what's happening there. Sorry, one of my things was giving me a warning that it was low on battery, and it's like, oh yeah, of course you are. You're not plugged in. There we go. They're on the outside of where they want to be, always looking in. Outcasts are like born rebels. They hate the system. They fucking hate the family heads. Remember those motherfuckers who cursed us in the first place? And they fucking hate sheep, unthinking followers. They want to break society into pieces. Some of them want to lord over the remains. Others want to rebuild. Others want to dance in the ashes. I know a couple outcasts, and they're pretty chill. I think it's because they're always working out whether they can wind me up and point me at some asshole before letting me go like a missile. I'd be pissed off, except usually I agree with their targets. Good thing about being a primal is after battering that asshole, our wounds fix up like we weren't even grazed. We're tough. So, vampires then. They call themselves hungry. I guess it sounds a little better. We don't have much in common, but that works out because it means we don't butt heads. The ones I know like hiring primals like me to go hunting for them to bring them back a victim they can then drink from. They don't all kill their victims. I wouldn't just drag some poor bastard somewhere to get killed. The hungry I hang with is always fucking thirsty. It's sad. Just another curse, I guess, but the most like an addiction, you know? She's a real good thinker and planner, but can't bring herself to swoop down like Batman and drink from a scared victim, so I do her shopping for her. There's also this historical feud thing. Supposedly, if you believe the story about the first Primal, the family head she ate alive was one of the vamp daddies of old long ago. Oops. Oh, and I think they live forever, right? So that's cool. Sorcerers. Relationship is complex. An outcast or vampire asks us to do something, and you think, no sweat, I see your point. We'll settle down the road. A sorcerer asks you to do something, you look for every fucking fucked up way they can fuck you in the ass. That's not why it's complex. Sorcerers are the best hope of finding a fix for our curses. Sometimes it's only brief, and sometimes it's longer, but I've seen these guys work miracles. Remember Naomi? Yeah, she was locked in the form of a spider, totally out of control. I think it was sorcerers who brought her back. I see them a bit like a drug company. They got the cure for your illness, but they're going to profit from the deal and get you hooked on their supply. I like that approach. I like the idea that sorcerers can like pause the curse, can basically like, all right, cool. Here's my price, but I can make it so you're effectively not a primal, not a werewolf, so long as you keep paying, basically. I'm real curious. I'm excited to get to sorcerers. I'm so curious about sorcerers. Let's see. The dead have seen some shit, so I truck with them. The kind of stuff they want is just a little company or to feed off your anger or your praise fear. Some of the vamps do that too. You might feel drained around them, but it's a good thing. They'll bring you back from the edge. You want to go to a party where you can let your hair down, see people hit the peak of rage or love? Hang out with the dead. You can actually help some cursed bastards who can't help themselves. It feels good to help someone do something they never got the chance to do when they were alive. Gratitude is real, even if the experience isn't everything they hoped for. You're gonna want to watch it for other primals. Not me, of course, unless you fuck me over, then yeah, me too. There are all kinds of different families. We have territorial disputes, spider shifters called the Eight Hands that say they're the masters of the underground, the hidden spaces, all the dark cracks and alleys. Well, the Hides, who are a bunch of freaks, disagree. There are the Get of Lyca, werewolves like me who say the forests, mountains, and fields are our kingdom. I'd much rather have the city, but yeah, do you, hon. The Raptors dispute that sometimes. Then you have the Sphinx, and they're more interested in social geography. And the Spawn of Vodnik, they're interested in people. Following them, hitting them, taking what they have, hiding it back in their damp homes. Look, you can get into arguments about who owns what and paying your dues to the old bastards who like the old ways, but I've got a lot more in common with a young Vodnik than I do an elder Lycan. Exactly. No war, but class war. Alright? You have more in common with somebody in your same social class than you do with somebody who is your same quote-unquote race, but a billionaire, a leader, a politician. Class fucking consciousness. Good. I like that the primals are bringing in a little bit of class consciousness. Exactly. No war, but class war. Hell yeah. All right, but you're not just gonna be hanging out with accursed things. Closer to being a millionaire than Bezos. It's true. We all are closer to being millionaires than Bezos. You have any idea when you get to a point where there is no amount of fucking up that you can do that would mean that you end up homeless and poor and hungry on the street. Nothing. Like someone like Bezos could literally, I don't think he would be able to give away his money fast enough, even if he tried. It's too much. Like there are dragons in this world, and just like in fantasy worlds, they do need to be confronted. But you're not going to be just hanging out with other accursed things. You're gonna need friends. Friends keep you earthed, keep you in one mental peace. Sometimes I just want to chill, get high, go see a horror movie, whatever. That's easier with mundane friends who aren't gonna get all weird urges and terrifying on the guy eating loudly 2 rows in front, you know? And then there are the orgs, the ones who want to help or study primals in a way that doesn't involve cutting us open most of the time. You've got the faculty, or a network of teachers and scientists who met over Reddit when one of them posted something about a student behaving like a wolf. It wasn't me, before you ask. Turned out a few concerned teachers had similar experiences and shared stories. Turned out that a lot of teachers actually care for their students and started a support and study group for us. Then there's the Proteus cult. I don't know much about these New Agers other than they look like something out of Midsummer and they get murder happy when someone's threatening us. That would be fine. But I think they only answer to like old shifters. In other words, if you find a Proteus freak on your doorstep, they could be there to help you or they could be there to teach you a lesson on behalf of Pop Pop. There's an org calling themselves Earth's Rangers or some other comic book shit. They're apparently here to maintain balance, but Jack, super boring one, works day and night to get a part of the city declared a green zone for us, which is fine if you like that kind of thing. It's somewhere to chill anyway. Lila's more interesting, and she does what we say, like track down some junior Congress fuck and put the squeeze so a law's proposed so wolves are protected in the city limits. Primal, damnation. What do you mean I look happy to see you? I'm just glad you didn't eat your family last night, that's all. Still, if you've got a little time before we go inside, there's something I forgot to tell you about. Damnation. The nature of our curse. The uncontrollable shifts. We all go through them. You probably woke up one morning with more eyes than the night before, or teeth as long as your arm. I don't know your deal. That's just part one. You get emotionally stirred up and something changes about you. For me, if I get too angry, too sad, hell, even too turned on, yeah, that's a thing. I've got to fight to not feel my fingers burst into claws or my jaw snap and my teeth sharpen into fangs. Then there's the ears, the fur, the fucking tail. Some of them you can conceal with a bit of effort. Other parts are less easy. Emotional peaks trigger the shift, but they're only the only pieces of the overall. But they're only pieces of the overall whole, unless something big has just awoken the creature. If that happens, all bets are off. Your whole body will shift, just like the first time. That's another part. We're primal. We're more than just shapeshifters. We're ancient predators as well, and predators need to hunt. The dead whine about their urges, and the hungry moan about theirs. So we just fucking get on with it. We have to. Repress it too long and the creature bursts out when you least want it to. There's one rule the creature expects you to abide by. The prey has to be able to fight back. Look at it like this. If I hunt down some poor bastard with a walker, the creature's not going to be satisfied. But if I know that poor bastard is a tooled up veteran with a history of shooting at people who walk on his yard, it'd be good. It's better to go for targets who you know can fuck with you. For one thing, it's more likely to satisfy the creature. For another, it's more fun. That's why I hang outside bars for drunk, but not too drunk, assholes pushing their partners around. There's always at least one a night. You don't have to kill them. Just remember that. The creature likes trophies, Barb. No, I'm not going to tell you about my collection. We Primals sometimes show them off at our retreats. It's fucking gross. But the stories that go with them are great fun. You fuck with the rules, and the creature will take it out on you. You'll be locked in your shifted form until you do what needs to be done, only it'll be the creature calling the shots on the target. As the Talking Head said, another 80s reference. As the Talking Head said, you may find yourself up against prey who doesn't deserve your claws in their belly. You may find yourself compelled to take out your own brother, boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever. What about you, Barbie? You got a boyfriend? Girlfriend? Whatever? Oh, I've been in that fight before. Yeah. Note to lay out the following using the chapter header to differentiate that the chef some kind of half-page art delineating it, blah, 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 blah. All right. We're looking at, finally, into systems. So we got the fluff. So, okay, look. The fluff is not bad. I don't hate this. It is, out of all of them, the one that feels the most classic, for lack of a better term. Except this part, which I'm hoping maybe we'll get a little bit more explanation. It sounds like you feed off of the hunt you don't need to kill. It's just a matter of like, but having the hunt is what calms the creature. Sounds like, which is interesting. It's interesting, but overall, it's very. How can I put this? It's generic is not the term I'm looking for. It is. It's expected. It's very. It doesn't. I'm not seeing the kind of wild. I mean, we'll get to right the other specific families and the systems and all right now, but I'm not seeing some of the wilder swings that I've seen with some of the other lineages right now. It still feels very sort of classic werewolf with the classic werewolf tropes and themes. This is not a bad thing. Okay, this is not a bad thing. I overall am liking what I see, or at the very least, don't hate it. I'm seeing some hints with some of the mentions of the older, more conservative shifters, and some of them definitely like looking down on humans. But that's tropey. That's kind of to be expected. We'll see how much focus there is on that. But again, no forced breeding so far, which is always good. It's always good to see or not see. Or appreciate that, but we'll see what happens when we get to the Get of Leica or some of the other ones once we dive deeper into that. But we'll do that once again. You know what time it is? It is ad time. Every 30 minutes this happens. I cannot stop it. I am a slave to the ads. Marketing will control us all. Oh God, here we go. All right, we're back. We did it. We are in the place with the things. Sorry, just refreshing something here real quick. Boom. Good. All right. Anyway, yes, big fan of the lack of forced breeding that we found in this. Let us hope. Let us sincerely hope that this is a good sign. That in fact, we will see that that remains true. Let's hope. I for one am filled with hope instead of curses, which we haven't done all day today. We haven't had enough curses, so let's remember we have that. So let's see here. Now we're looking at the systems. Finally, systems. You know me. I love me a good system. I also love me a bad system. The more I think about it, the more I think about that cursed game, the more I want to make it. I might actually just do that tonight. Working on that tonight. I gotta get it out of me. I gotta get the poison out. It's in me. It's poisoning me. It's killing me. That is okay. Look. Before we go back, I need to take your attention for a second. Um, you know what creativity is. You know what creativity. Look, creativity is many things. Okay, creativity is the thing with feathers. Creativity is often to me a poison. It is a poison inside you, and it builds up, and it eats at you, and it drives you mad, and it leaves you weak and tired and distracted, and until you get the goddamn poison out, until you put the thing on the page, you draw the thing, you write the thing, you sing the thing, you perform the thing, you carve the thing, you paint the thing, you whatever it is you need to do to get the thing out, to get the poison out, because it's killing you if you leave it inside, if you don't get out the poison. That is what creativity is to me. Is that the most heartwarming way to think of it? No, no. I'm not sure if it's the healthiest approach to creativity, but it's mine. That is how it works. I have a poison inside me now, thanks to having thought of that evil fucking thing, and now I have to get it out. It has to go out. It has to go out. Primal systems. The primal are a lineage, cursed to prey on others, and never possess full control of a bodily form. Cool. They are an ancient line of hunters, each tied to a different form of beast or mutation. This section contains all the rules, blah, 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 blah. So, this is interesting. So, the main thing with all the primals is that they're all hunters. No matter what your family of primal, they are all hunters. That's good. That's good. I don't hate that. I think part of the problem, right, but with before, in part, was that like there are the hunters, and then everybody, like every type of shifter had a very defined role. And I'm sure we'll see something similar with the families, but I do kind of like that in Curseborne, Curseborne the accursed. They this is the tying thing, right? Because they all need to have something of their curse that ties them together. With the dead, well, you're all dead, and you need to feed on the emotions. You know, you live off the emotions. With the hungry, well, you're hungry. You need the bloods, and also you like other things, but primarily the bloods. With the outcasts, it's less about that. The outcasts are mostly like they're mostly about just trying to get back out, or you know, whatever. They're kind of their own thing. And then these guys are hunters. They're all hunters. In fact, the outcasts are the most varied one of the bunch, now that I think about it. Which I guess makes sense, because they come from all kinds of different things. Although I guess we'll see how we go here. But I like that their unifying role is that they are all hunters. There's a prey and hunting element to all primals, regardless of type of primal, which is important to me. I like that. Let's see. Wild form. Okay, so a primal character can transform into their wild form as a reflex. So this is the main thing, right? If you're playing a werewolf, if you're playing a shifter, this is one of the first things you want to know. How do I shift? What's the shifting like? So a primal character can transform their body Okay, so it costs reflexive action, bleeding, 1 curse die. So pretty simple, pretty quick, pretty low cost. The body rapidly shifts, her skin splits, her bones twist, her muscles bulge. Few can transform in silence due to the pain of the bodily alterations, requiring a stamina or resolve action to do so without shouting or howling in agony. The shift always turns the primal into a vessel for the creature, which differs from family to family. Okay, interesting. The wild form is always larger than the human who shifted. Also interesting. More subtle changes, such as into their domestic or beast forms. Okay, so this is wild form. This is like your, what was it in a werewolf? Your not Garou. Your, fuck. What were the different names for the shapes? Like there was a war form, but they had specific names. Chat. I'm sure you remember. The different sort of names of the different war forms. I'm thinking Metis, but Metis wasn't a war form. Metis was like a mixed breed. like misshapen kind of like, yeah, the metis were like if two werewolves bred. Old Werewolf was really just concerned with breeding. It's just a general rule. Breeding and genetics. Just as soon as you start getting really obsessed with breeding and genetics, it's always going to be just a bit of a red flag for me. I'm going to be honest with you. But looks like we have less of that here. All right, so let's see here. Require specific spell. Oh, okay. So the wild form is the default. More subtle changes, such as in domestic or bee forms, dog or wolf, that like a domestic cat is packaged for the sphinx, swarm of house spiders or large redback for the 8 heads, require specific spells to achieve. So you by default don't have access to a sort of subtle form, a domestic or just regular beast form. By default, you only have the wild form that is like a vessel for the creature, which I'm assuming this is going to be important because the fact that they emphasize that means that becoming a vessel for the creature is hopefully some kind of mechanic that we're gonna see shortly. Let's see. So while transformed, the accursed can communicate as a human might, though with abnormal vocal qualities, and solve problems, but their physical shape may restrict them from doing so with subtlety and can limit the areas they can access. People who see a primal in their wild form react as any human might to a primitive beast stalking towards them. Friends and trusted associates try to remain calm. Soldiers and cops enter kill mode. Scientists want to study, and the average human adopts a fight or flight response. That all checks out. So there's no like what it used to be werewolf, the whole the delirium, I believe was called, right? The delirium that people would just like absolutely lose their fucking shit when they saw a werewolf, and then they wouldn't remember. And this was all based on the long past story that once upon a time the werewolves all. I mean, Jesus Christ, this was so wild. This was so wild that the official explanation for the delirium is that once upon a time the werewolves literally ruled the world and kept the early tribes of humanity as their flock, as their pets. And then there was a war of rage, which is why the werewolves are no longer in charge of the world. And the reason that now humans, when they see a werewolf, freak out and then erase the memory is because of an ingrained genetic like trauma response to, oh, these are our dominators from whatever hundreds of thousands of years back. Fucking wild. And also real edgelordy, and possibly part of the reason why. I mean, look, I get it. It's a story that can be told, and not even a story that I'm entirely opposed to in a tabletop RPG. But certain types of stories attract certain types, and I think that again part of my original problem with Werewolf were players like that made a real big deal about like how we were the true masters of the world and everybody should bow down to us. We are the superior race. You know where I'm going with all that. Jesus. I've been scarred. I did, as much as I'm criticizing the idea that the delirium is born of a genetic trauma, that's how I feel, though. That's how I feel about Old World of Darkness Werewolf. It triggers a genetic trauma response in me every goddamn time. So I'm fighting through this. Sure, but what about the werewolf skull shape? They all look the same when you smash them into bits. All right, let's go. Wild transform. Okay, so all of this, when in wild form, you gain the following benefits and drawbacks. So you gain an enhancement in all physical actions. Checks out. You gain +1 difficulty in all influence actions other than intimidation. Yep, this is all common sense stuff. And gain +1 enhancement to stacks to defensive actions. Yeah, all of this makes sense. It's, if anything, it is a lot more subdued than I would have expected, given how come on, none of you guys remembers the name of the war form for werewolf? Come on, I thought you guys were werewolf fans. I'm not. What is the term for the? I have to look it up. It's killing me now. It's driving me nuts. Arr, it's driving me nuts. Let's see here. Werewolf. The rage ending. What was it? Werewolf the Apocalypse, right? When will you rage? Right. Anytime I hear about werewolf, that's when I fucking rage. Werewolf the Apocalypse forms. Let's see. Forms. Aha! Homid, Glabro, Krinos. Krinos is the one I'm looking for. Krinos, Hispo, and Lupus. So Krinos form is the war form. Exactly. All right, here we go. So Krinos. Anyway, this is your Krinos. And in Old World Darkness, Krinos, your fucking war form, was what this is more like. I wonder if there is a more brutal form, like that is wild form, and then there's like, you know, sort of like a base animal form, and then there's, you know, a sort of partial like catgirl form basically. I wonder if that exists, and that would mean, because then this would be, so there's the wait, let me still have the web page open. Yeah. So there's Homid, right? That's your full human. There's Krinos, which is your wild form. Well, no, sorry, Krinos is your war form. Sorry, let me take them in order. There's Homid. Homid is, you just look like a human. You're pretty much a human. You look like a human. You're human. Yada yada. Glabro is catgirl form. Glabro is, you're bigger. You're a little bigger. You're a little tougher. You got the ears or the eyes or the fangs or something like that. But you're still mostly human. Again, Glabro is catgirl form. That's how I'm going to remember it forever. Used primarily by catgirls. Krinos is the war form. The I am a beast of a wolf, but also I'm a beast of a man. I am the most beastly of all the beasts that ever beasted. Arr, arr, arr. I do the biting now. That is my werewolf. Please, if anybody out there is watching and needs a player for their actual play, you could have all of this. I will play a werewolf at you. It'll be great. It'll be great. And then there's Hispo, and Hispo is big wolf, big dire wolf, you know. And then Lupus, which is just wolf, still probably a pretty big wolf, especially if you're playing werewolf. Everybody wanted to be a big wolf, but you know, big wolf. But Hispo is like big wolf, like, you know, like dire wolf. So wild form, all of that to say, wild form sounds to me like Hispo. Lupus, so beast form, domestic or beast, dog or wolf, it would be sort of that base Lupus form. Homid is human. Hispo would be wild form. And then I'm assuming, you know, the Glabro would be, I'm sure, you know, just the you're doing things and your rage is whatever, and you're starting to show the cat ears and stuff, and then there would be a sort of proper war form. If we're kind of trying to do a one-to-one, I don't know. I could read and find out, I suppose. Let's because as we've discovered, the more I read, so let's go ahead. But the point is that this feels, Krinos was like you're a furry blender of death. This impressive still, right? But less of a. Is there wild form? Wild form is always larger than the human that shifted. there's nothing in here even that describes the wild form as half human, except one enhancement that stacks on all physical actions. Okay, because you still retain. Let's assume that you're retaining a level of dexterity and ability to do human things. Right? Perhaps it will be described per family. True, true. But like there is like, yeah. I hope there is more description because at this point it's sort of like this is kind of vaguely describing that I become a very bigger than my human form animal of my family type, not necessarily a classic werewolf with werewolf hands yet slash claws, a humanoid, a humanoid form to this. It's more of talking about like pure wild. You are a big beast. So yeah, so we'll see if there are like, if this is in fact like Hispo and not not Krenos. We'll see. Wild form complication. The creature fights to control the primal while she takes on her wild form. Apply the following complications to actions in the following conditions. Minor complications. Any non-attack actions when challenged. If not bought off, the character cannot leave her wild form until she suffers at least 1 damage. Oh, and the creature dictates the character's next action. Or a moderate complication. Any non-attack actions when a bondmate has been hurt or humiliated. If not bought off, the character cannot leave her wild form until the end of the scene, and the creature dictates the character's next action. If the player does not wish to give up control, they can reject the creature's influence. Doing so grants a +1 enhancement to the next action taken against them. Okay, cool. I like that. I like that. So basically, when you're in wild form, it is harder to control your actions. So you're going to have, if you're doing a non-attack, if you're fighting, the beast is with you, the creature is with you. No complications, no bonuses. This is what it wants: the fight, the hunt, the kill. If you're trying to do a non-attack action, when challenged, I wonder what that would, if that's a specific game term. We'll get to it, but but I'm going to assume this is when under duress, when when it matters, when it's a challenge, when you would have to make a roll. So you have to buy off the minor complication, which I believe takes hits, right? It takes like successes effectively. If not bought off, the character cannot leave her wild form until she suffers at least 1 damage, and the creature dictates the character's next actions. You can kind of snap them out of it by hitting them hard, but otherwise they lose control, and the beast takes over. The creature takes over. But it's not completely. It says the creature dictates the character's next action. I wonder if that just keeps going, or if like, okay, the creature did this, now we're back to it. Do you want to go back to combat? Yeah, I think it's only the character. Yeah, I think I like that it should be just this action. You lost control in that moment. The creature lashes out. You get back to it. If you're still trying to do non-attack things, you're still having to have this complication. However, if a bondmate has been hurt or humiliated, then that escalates. Your emotions go wild. Now you can't leave your wild form until the end of the scene, period. You can't be just snapped out of it. And the creature dictates the character's next action. Still just the one. But I like this, that if the player is not with, there is a way. So like, because I always worry about taking player agency away whenever possible. One concern of mine with a lot of those sort of like the creature or the beast or whatever, this inner force, is to take away player choice. And yes, you are playing, kind of the whole point, right, is that your character can lose control. Punishing the player for that is like it depends on how you do it, whether you're punishing the player or not. I for one prefer to go with carrots rather than sticks myself, so I would not punish a player for for something like uh, something like this necessarily. The point is not to punish the player. The point is to make it more complicated for the character, right? So this makes it so that the player still always has a sense of control. Because just like in any show, in a movie, in a book, or anything, those scenes where the character is fighting the influence, they feel the rage inside them, or they feel the control, and it's driving their actions, and they're trying to resist, and then they find themselves in front of their boyfriend or girlfriend or partner or pet or whatever, and they raise their claws to strike, and it's like, no, and so they stop themselves from that, with just sheer force of will. You can do that without a roll. You can go like, hey, cool. The player, no, I'm putting my foot down. I'm not letting the creature murder my pet / girlfriend / boyfriend / grandma / landlord. Actually, no, she can take the landlord. You know the drill, right? Cool. It's built into the system. Like, this is a call I would make. This is the kind of thing that I would have probably house ruled myself, which is like, if you really want to fight it, cool, you're going to be able to prevent that. But because you're so focused on fighting the influence of the creature, then the next action taken against you has an enhancement. You're distracted, you're off balance, like that. I like that. That makes sense. Or if in story it makes more sense, the player goes like, no, this is cool, like the story is better if we do this, depending on some players will have that, and I love those players. Then yeah, I like this. This is the kind of, when I find stuff that is like the kind of stuff that I would have house ruled otherwise, I'm a big fan of that. Let's see. Primal Sense. The Primal are constantly switched on to two things: danger and prey. The part of them that this is a cat, basically. All animals, I guess, but yeah, cats specifically. Primals are constantly switched on to two things: danger and prey. The part of them that in ancient times said, "Here be monsters," is the other side of the same instinct, reassuring them, "I am the monster, and this is my territory." At the start of any scene, are you the monsters? Yes, she is. Oh my god, she's completely zonked out in her sunbeam over there. Anyway, she is the monster. This is her territory. You may bleed a curse die to ask the story guide one of the following questions. At the start of any scene, you may bleed a curse die. So there is a non-zero substantial cost to this, but you get access to it. What here's the greatest? This is very PBTA. These feel like very powered by the apocalypse kind of questions, which, yeah, checks out. What here is the greatest threat? What here is more powerful than me? What here is weakest to me? One of the following. Interesting. Is anyone here hurt or suffering a disease? Does anyone here have a strong bond to another person present? Interesting. I like that there is a mechanical. See, this is cool. This is cool. I like this. And another reason that I tend to dislike Old World of Darkness Werewolf is that it goes all in on the now 100% debunked, alpha wolf thing, theory and all that stuff, right? Sorry. There we go. Like, there was a lot there in the whole ground control. Also, okay, I just realized my chat over here had been frozen for a while, so I've missed some messages after the force breeding stuff. The werewolf skull shape, I saw that. No, due to limited available playtime. See, I haven't seen that. Okay, so no, not actual werewolf fans. Well, okay, that explains that. But Potato is here. Good. Never got to play werewolf. Just played Chronicles of wild form, domestic form, furry form, and fury form. I like that. Perhaps we'll play per family. And yes, frozen in this weather. Are you mad? Look. First of all, what it is bizarre out there today. It's gonna go to almost 80 here in New York. We're a week away from Halloween. Well, not like 2 weeks away from Halloween. A little bit less, a little bit more, a couple weeks away. I don't know. Still, like, we're in Halloween month, and it's gonna be it's 80 in Connecticut. There you go. Like what? This is wild. This is wild. It's beautiful. I mean, this morning it made for absolutely beautiful hangout in the park weather this morning, which was lovely. But also the world is ending. um, so hey, let's see here. So I like these questions. I like these questions. I like that there is a mechanical aspect to that whole sort of social pack bond kind of, and by explaining by this whole sort of danger and prey thing, like what is the greatest threat. In fact, this is part like what I was concerned about with, remember earlier in the stream when I was going on in about vampire and that whole like, do I get enraged when I'm around other vampires mechanic? Like that was another thing. Like, it's like, oh, those fucking stupid pack mechanics and the alpha and beta and like, look, man, I'm not here for Omegaverse fanfic. No kink shaming, no shame for you if that's what you're here for, but I'm not running an Omegaverse game. Sorry. So glad to see that that's not here. But I do like this. I do like that they're using this and turning it into a social thing that is actually an informational thing that leads to more roleplay, provides information, and it provides it flavored in a way that fits in with this whole you are a beast and a creature, etc. And it's not a, oh, because you are always in prey and hunter mode, then these bad things are happening. It's like, no, it's a tool. You have to spend a point to get it, to do this, but it's a tool. You can tap into those instincts. There's something you can use. I like that. I like that actually a lot. I'm surprised by how much I'm overall liking the primals. Honestly, not bad. I'm a little confused about these wild forms. Hopefully we find out more. But overall, I'm surprised by how much I'm liking this. I wonder if I will continue to like it after these ads. Haha, I gotcha again. Be right back. And we have returned post ads, and hey, over on YouTube, Hamang, welcome in, buddy. It's good to see you around, and thank you as always for the good luck wishes. I really do need to find a way to get the YouTube chat to show up down there. But in the meantime, what is my in real life job? I am in fact, or I was in fact, in the IT sector. I've been an IT guy for the bulk of my life. I am currently not in IT. This is effectively my in real life job. I got laid off earlier this year. I am effectively living off my savings and trying to figure out a few things, but mostly trying to avoid falling back into corporate America because, god damn, I'm burnt out. So while technically by skills I am an IT guy, as of right now, self-employed, trying to figure out some things, which is part of why I have time to do these streams. Uh, so, well, a few months ago, I would have said, like, if anyone's hiring in IT, please. But I don't think anyone's actually hiring in IT. It's all just fake jobs. I spent 6 months. I don't know how many resumes I sent out, in the thousands. I have decades of experience. I got like 4 responses, 2 interviews, one that went almost all the way, and then they picked somebody else. The fucking job market right now is, if you have a job, hold the fuck on to it. Hold on to that job. It is not a good time to be unemployed. And so I'm trying a few things. Trying a few things. you know. We'll see. We'll see. Check back in with me in about a year when my savings run out. I'm very, very lucky, I will admit, that I actually have savings to coast off while I figure some shit out, but that's not gonna last forever. So hence we're doing streams and we're doing stuff, and we're trying to get some players for the games that we're running, which, by the way, for the various chats, I only have 2 games listed now, but there will be more. So there's the link on the chats. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. As for my role, I was primarily I was a senior help desk engineer. I did a lot of back end cloud engineer work on Azure. Good stuff. Good stuff. Man, good luck. Motivating stuff for final year. So look, good luck. I don't know what your specific area was. Mine was specifically cloud infrastructure. I was primarily a Microsoft Azure guy, but also, like, if you know cloud, you know cloud. You know AWS, you know Google. They all have a lot of the same basic concepts, so you learn them all. But my day-to-day work was primarily Azure. And look. By the time you graduate, maybe things will be a little bit better. Fingers crossed. But goddamn, right now it's rough out here, man. It's rough out here. If and when you do finally graduate, I wish you the best. I wish you sincerely the best. It is, however, not gonna sugarcoat it. It's rough out there, in the job market right now. So good luck. Um, let's see. Meanwhile, coming back to the game, and hey, wait, why did? There we go. Hello over on Twitch. By the way, let me catch up with chat here. Potato. Also, make sure your resume has no lines in it. A bunch of the auto. No, I've redone my resume. I've checked it. I've done the whole thing where, like, you basically customize your resume for every position. I'm done. I'm done with it. I can't. But you know what? Maybe in another 3 months, I'll realize that I have to get back on the job hunt, and who knows, right? But as of right now, I can't. LinkedIn is hell. LinkedIn is an extension of the hell realm itself. I am an agnostic at best. In general, I don't, as we say in Spanish, yo no creo ni en la luz eléctrica. I don't even believe in electric lights. Okay, but if there is a hell, its extension is LinkedIn. And just for the moment, I'm done. And also, just know, I don't want to go back to corporate America. I don't want to suit up every morning. I don't want to be the hero at 3 a.m. on a Sunday fixing your goddamn servers. Your servers can wait till Monday. I don't care. I sincerely do not care, sirs, madams, that your servers are down. It's Sunday at 3 a.m. Go back to bed. We can deal with it in the fucking morning. I don't care if it's costing you millions of dollars. They're not. Are you paying me millions? No. Do I get a cut of all these millions of dollars that I save you if I wake up at 3 a.m. and fix it? No. Then go fuck yourself. No, I'm done. I'm done with corporate America. I'm done with this bullshit. And I do not want that in my life anymore. That is my fail state. If I end up back in corporate America, that is my fail state. I will live in a van by the river. I will stream by hijacking somebody's unprotected Wi-Fi. I want to be that weird old man who has checked out of society. Honestly, I anyway, look, if nothing else, it's exactly. Look, if it helps, Himang over on YouTube, at least you won't have me as competition once you graduate. Because I don't want the jobs. I'm done. I've spent decades. I'm done. I'm done with it. And yes, welcome Parunyeta over there on Twitch as well. See, Doom Guy would absolutely be attacking their servers to destroy the hell entities. Said that Microsoft now owns both LinkedIn and Doom. Yeah, that's why Microsoft, made those purchases. They know what's up. Anyway, back to the actual game that we're doing here today. Let's see here, the lineage path. Let's see what you get by default as a primal, because I, weirdly enough, not hating the primals in this, which I expected to hate them. Lineage path, there's something elemental, even monstrous about you. You can sense your prey. You want to snap their bones and take your trophies. You want to carve up this city and declare a part of it yours. What will you do with your abilities? So it's interesting, because I normally don't like part of the things that I hate about werewolf games in general is this sense of like, I am the predator, rar, 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 I want to eat people, rar, rar, rar. Oh, this city, territory, rar, rar, rar. And those are things that I, on a core level, as a human being, rebel against. I don't. That's not me. I know some people are like that. Some people are very much like that. In fact, I would say, probably the bulk. I'm not like that. It's just not in me to view the world this way. Like so, but the fact that they sort of lay it out here, and it's for all. Again, I think separating the predator prey mentality from the, in my opinion, incredibly toxic in the long run whole, alpha, omega, whatever predator mentality and all the stuff that we as humans have laid upon that, because of the connection to the wolf thing and all the baggage that comes with it. Like, when you have some of those same prey, predator, territorial aspects, but it's not tied to the wolf bullshit, it becomes a lot more palatable, I think is what I'm saying. I think my problem is, and I've said this, it's with werewolves. It's not shapeshifters in general. I don't mind the rest of the shapeshifters. And it is in fact a me problem. I don't mind the rest of the shapeshifters. It's the wolves. And it was the fact that a lot of these things that they're presenting here were presented originally and were often just kind of made the default for the wolf shifters in many games, and especially in Old World of Darkness, while other shifters were less of that. They were always like something else. They were, the bears were like more healers, and they tried to make them kind of like vampire clans. Each one has its own specialty, whatever. But point is that the whole big like, I am predator, you are prey, even though it existed in some of the more monstrous ones like the Rokea, the were sharks and stuff, but it was still like mostly a wolf thing. It was tied to the wolves. It was tied to the whole wolf mythology and the alpha thing and the pack mechanics and all that stuff, and all of that just led to a sort of soup of toxicity that the base concept doesn't deserve. Witness what's happening here, where the base concept of like, you are a beast, you are a monster, this whole prey and predator instinct for violence, this predatory instinct. I'm not opposed to this as a curse, especially since it's treated here as a curse. But it's also not tied to specifically werewolf mythology. It is a shifter thing. It's a beast thing in general. I like that better because it doesn't have those attachments to the toxic stuff. I appreciate that. Path skills, athletics, close combat, survival. Yeah, those make sense. All rounders with a focus on physical. Assets, loyal pets, territory, trail of prey, trail of predators. Yeah, this is all real classic, sort of shifter hunter stuff. The creature heightens the primal senses, driving them curiosity and exploration. These exceptional hunters and trackers can't miss the smallest clues. When taking an action to hunt or track a target, add the primal's entanglement I don't know what entanglement is, but okay. Additionally, the first hits that applied before the roll, so apparently it's very good for this. Additionally, the first time in a session that a primal gains a piece of evidence, they may gain a second without spending anything. Okay, so primals are definitely very good if they chose this as your major path, right? Just being a shifter, you are cool. That is your core. You are a hunter. I like that. I don't mind this as a concept, as a core concept that I am a good hunter. I'm a great hunter, no matter what my actual animal is. I could be a great hunting spider, or it could be a great hunting wolf or great hunting cat, but I'm a hunter, predator, prey. Cool, 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 cool. I think that. I'm excited for the families. We'll see how far we get. It's already like 4:15. We're already in our last hour. It's just got really quick, folks. This just got really quick. Let's see. So your damnation, the primal are elemental predators. So we kind of have already like a mention of like, so these are complications. These are things that happen in addition when you are in wild form. Separate from that is the damnation and the torments, which you will choose. So let's see here. Primals are elemental predators, ceaseless predators. They feel the urge to snarl, snap, lash out, and exert their primacy, no matter their surrounding. This may take the form of mental belittlement, social intimidation, or physical assault. Anytime the character's curse dice pool reaches 0, the need to exert themselves as a force of nature takes over. The character shifts into their wild form, heavily influenced by the creature. She suffers a minor complication on all actions, and if not bought off, the creature dictates the target of the action instead of her. She cannot gain curse dice until this is resolved. Resolution: the primal must express her elemental nature and satisfy the creature. She must complete an action that imposes the aggravated wound, bleeding, destroyed reputation, taken out, or terrified status on a victim who can fight back. If the action she takes inconveniences her or one of her crew, she gains a curse die or momentum, player's choice, after taking the action. That is your feeding. As a primal, you kind of have to be a slight bully, it sounds like. That is how you get your shifter rocks off, I guess. You have to beat the fuck out of somebody either socially or physically, or just terrify them. But that is, which they do say, like, you don't have to kill, but you do have to hunt, and it has to be fair prey, which is kind of cool. It's kind of cool that you do have to hunt in this sense, but it's not. So I think there was some of that in old Werewolf, right? There's always been like, you play werewolf, you're gonna eat people occasionally. It's gonna happen. I feel like there was more of that in New Werewolf for some reason. I don't know why it's in my head right now, but I used to play. Here's a dark confession. I mean, you guys may or may not know what this is. Still a dark confession. I used to play, part of why I'm a big World of Darkness person. I used to play a lot of World of Darkness games on what were called mushes and muds and moos, and basically pure text-based chat sort of servers, and they were hosted by individuals. Yeah, the old lore, muds, exactly, the ancient lore. And look, there was an entire genre. Once upon a time, there were dozens of us, dozens of games in World of Darkness themes alone. There were dedicated changeling only games with like 60, 70, 80 players. I distinctly remember playing the Dreaming, not just the Dreaming 2. And that one was one of the earliest ones, and it lasted for years, and it was Changeling the Dreaming. This was early on, like 95. Changeling the Dreaming. I played Uriel, a chinchilla puka. He eventually married his girlfriend, Perry, the Ooh, what was she? Was she a raccoon puka? I'm pretty sure she was a raccoon puka. They were like a puka power couple in the game. Anyway, I used to play a lot of these muds and mushes, and that's where also some of my most horrible roleplay experiences and memories come from as well. And this is. I like this. I don't mind this need to hunt here. In fact, if anything, how can I put this? Before, and again, look. To take everything I'm about to say with the appropriate amount of sodium, because my tears over werewolf, the apocalypse are many and salty. I felt like, how do I put this? How do I put this? You know what? No. I'm gonna put this thought away. Because I'm just gonna continue talking shit about Werewolf the Apocalypse. And you know what? We're trying to move forward. I reserve the right to rant later, though. But I like this. I like this concept. I'm not against this. I'm not against the idea of having to hunt. And you know what this does remind me of a little? This reminds me of a little of one of the lesser known and honestly not that great, despite it having some interesting concepts, World of Darkness kind of games from the previous game line, Beast. Was it Beast the Forsaken or Beast the... No, it's not Beast the Forsaken. Werewolf the Forsaken was a werewolf one. No, Beast the... whatever it was. Beast the Beastening. I don't know. Anyway, in that game, you are... beasts. You are these monsters of legend, and the original idea, they really fucked it up. It's the thing is, like, I think from original idea to actual execution, they kind of fucked it up. But the point is that you are a monster, and your need as a monster is to basically kind of draw people into this sort of labyrinth, this domain of yours. And kind of fuck them up, basically hunt them, and stuff. And there was an aspect of like, oh, you might have to hunt them for to teach them a lesson, and yes, but no. And also there was an aspect, and there were these people in the world that were like heroes built in, and they just have a built-in insta hater bone for you, but like a hate boner for you, but you kind of deserve it, but you don't. It was a weird game, but this feels a little bit like that, where you have to, like, the creature inside you is going to hunt, whether you want it to or not, and you can at least make sure that you're letting the creature hunt assholes, basically. Or just kind of do whatever you have to do. But point is, like, the creature wants worthy prey. Whatever direction you like, the creature makes no moral judgments, right? Beast got dark. Yes, it did. Struggle bus. It got real fucking dark. But yes, this is not a moral thing, except for the individual character, right? They have their own morality to deal with, and so that's going to be that. But yeah, I don't mind this so much. We had a mixed beast mage game as Pirates in the Caribbean. Those vibes would work, but there were moments where it was like, oh boy, if the rest of the mages find out about this, there's going to be some role play that needs to happen. Yes. I semi-related story from the game that I am in that is coming to a close. By the way, this will be. I just had the session on Sunday. That was our penultimate session. Next Sunday is the other group, because we're playing. It's a vampire game, Dark Ages, and there's two groups of us in different sides of Sicily. There was Team Low Clan and Team High Clan. I'm on Team High Clan. I play little La Sombra boy, who is the best. And then our last game was going to be the last High Clan game is going to be the week after next. So next Sunday is the last game for Team Low Clan, and then Sunday after that, last game for Team High Clan. I'm going to miss these characters, but point is that my character is a little La Sombra guy. He's just a little guy, just a little guy, who's very good with the shadows. He's very shadowy boy, everybody's favorite shadowy boy. And around the other characters, he is surprisingly sweet, and he is surprisingly self-effacing, and he is very polite and very kind, and he is very excited and happy to be with them in his own weird little way. His name is Siraj. Siraj among friends is a sweetheart, such a nice guy. Siraj on his own, when he doesn't have to be nice, he is a very awkward fellow. He's not good with people. He tries to be. He smiles. He says the right words. He really would like to be good with people, but he's not. When he gets solo, when he separates from the rest of the group, and occasionally there'll be a feeding scene, or somebody will try, some fool will try to do something stupid, and then I will make some rolls and notice that they are trying to do something stupid and lead them into a dark alley. And then take my time tearing them apart with shadow tentacles. Or if I'm feeding and I'm very hungry, you make sure that your victim confesses all their sins to God loudly before killing them, because and he is so fucking cold in those scenes. It's great. Anyway, point is, the other players have never seen that side of Siraj. And if they saw it, much like Struggle Bus said, there would need to be some role play about that. There's some corpses that have been found around town that they don't know are leftovers. Anyway, okay, so cool. So basically, you gotta hunt. Hunters gotta hunt. Dig it. So, but if you can't hunt, right? If this happens, then torments and then curses happen. So let's see. Curses drive all accursed to act in ways that make them monstrous. Choose one of the following torments that affects your character. Anytime your character succumbs to a torment, gain 1 momentum. So we've got our 2 options, and usually the first option is the more sort of classic, traditional, what you would expect from that thing, from that type of supernatural. And then the other one is usually the one that I like, which is usually the more out there. So let's see. So first one, Elemental Fury. Primal are thunder, earthquakes, and hurricanes given form. They are rage at an elemental level. Nature does not respect self-control and human codes of loyalty. It destroys. When your character is in her wild form and in combat, you can trigger this torment. Your primal hyper-focuses on the biggest, most deadly target in the area, preventing her from assisting or interacting with allies unless they're in the way, in which case she gruffly orders or throws them aside. That's not so bad. I mean, it can be mixed results, but it's mostly just like only happens when you're in combat, only when you're in your wild form, and it just means I'ma fuck you up in particular, and then that's it. It's sort of like a self-imposed taunt. It's okay, it's fine. Seems low impact compared to some of the other torments. And Predator's colors. Primals struggle to conceal their bestial natures at the best of time. Losing, making an error, or being mocked or made to look a fool forces a primal to reveal their predator's colors. When your character appears weak, this can be through a failed action, taking damage, an unresolved complication, or similarly through roleplay, you can trigger this torment. Your primal immediately lashes out wildly, verbally or physically, especially against people who are close to the character. Okay, cool. That's fine as well. It's kind of low impact. I mean, can be high impact depending on how you play this. But I sincerely thought this was leading towards a loss of control on the bestial sense. That you would, not just that you would lash out wildly, verbally, or physically, but that you would show like bestial elements. I thought maybe that would be the thing. I'm kind of surprised to not see that there, but okay. I don't know. The tournaments are fine. I don't hate them. They're fine. Let's see. Okay, finally, we're looking at the families. Oh boy, we're already like about to hit our last ad break in just a couple more minutes. So let's look at this quick thing before we go into ads. Oh no, we're already in the families in the 8 hands. I thought this was going to be a list, but no, this is going to be the straight up. All right. Well, let's see how far along we get into the 8 hands, and then we're definitely not finishing this today. I think tomorrow will be Primal Families Day. But I guess we can get a taste for that here with the 8 hands. So let's at least get a couple paragraphs in before I hit you with the ads. The 8 hands. Oh, wait, let's see here. So families. Primal families are chosen at an instinctive level, bonding the would-be primal to an animal before they're even aware of their curse. Supposedly, there are primal families for every natural predator, with several rising to prominence in the present day. Okay, so I do like that, and they do actually mention in the fiction that it's not just these families. Like, that if you want to have, like, a fucking capybara family, I guess. Capybaras are stealthy hunters, but predators. I suspect there are, for every natural predator, they do say it, so it's specifically predators. So we're not going to see capybara families, but you might see... Ooh, what's that mouse that's super fierce? That there's like a whole meme about it, and it's just like, it makes a little squeak. And it's a predator, it's a fierce predator within its area. So like little badass screaming mouse. That's a family I want to belong to. But instead of little badass screaming mouse, we have big badass spiders, I'm assuming. The 8 hands. My bloody web's designed to catch juicy flies like you. Oh, the spider and spider web and fly. Yeah, all of that, all the spider puns are going to be big, I suspect, on this one. I'm excited to get to it. I'm also just burning time so we can get to the ads, and then I don't have to interrupt this. So that's what I'm doing now, hitting you with those ads, because it is in fact time. I will be back in 1 minute 30 seconds. Bear with. Let's look at these goddamn spiders. We got spiders all up in this place. And you and I, folks, we gotta look at those. That's some spiders. Let's see, the 8 hands. I cannot wait for the art on these, by the way. I expect spooky spider art. Look, I'm not one of I apologize. If you are, by the way, content warning, spiders. If you are afraid of spiders, this is bad. You're gonna have a bad time with these guys, right? They are spider bros. I am not afraid of spiders. I don't want them crawling on me. I'm not one of those people. I'm not one of those freaks with a pet tarantula. All right, I have my lines. But generally, spiders are bros, right? Spiders are happy little little critters. They are cute. Yes, no, I agree. They are cute. I have a couple of spiders in my house, and I respect them. I respect the work they do, and I appreciate it. I'm a big fan of spiders overall. In fact, that's why I don't keep them as pets. They have work to do. They pay the rent. They know what they're doing. They earn their keep through labor, and I appreciate that. I'm a fan of spiders overall. Like they say you're more afraid of you than you are of them. All that stuff. So I'm a fan of spiders. But for those of you who are not, bad times ahead. So just saying that. Let's see. The 8 hands. My bloody web's designed to catch juicy flies like you. You'll have to excuse my working while I'm talking, mate. I've got a lot of things on right now, understand? All right, I know you're unhappy. You're caught in my trap. But it's high time you listen to the little guy, all right? You were being dodgy. Yeah, I caught you sneaking around my yard. And you see, no Ocho appreciates intruders. We tend to eat them. So stop screaming and start listening if you want to get out of this one. Okay, I like that. Spiders ain't evil. It fucks me right off that we're always portrayed that way. We just look out for our territory and everything in it and make no exceptions for burglarizing bastards like you. We're protective. Maybe a little paranoid. But fuck, who wouldn't be in this economy, right? I love them. I love the Ochos already. Oh, fuck yes, I love them. The web is real. Just because I live in the back of Beyond doesn't mean I'm not connected. We Ocho talk to each other when we feel when we're threatened. And yeah, we know when we're being fucked with. You asked down at Bayside whether anyone lived in my house. Now, I know you're not interested in buying, but how did I hear you? Bugs. Some of them are friends of mine. Some of them are little electronic widgets that trigger whenever my name gets spoken or someone mentions my address. It's how I know to be out when the bank comes calling. But you're more wanker than banker, pardon my French. I am a little paranoid in this economy. Look, man, is it just because the capitalists are out to get you doesn't mean you're not paranoid. But also, just because you're paranoid doesn't mean capitalism isn't out to get you. Cursed for keeping secrets. The wolves get cursed for their anger, the cats for their selfishness, but us, somehow, we become spiders because we're just too bloody secretive. How about that? We keep things to ourselves that could help or hinder some other fucker, and all of a sudden the web we weave is all around us, and the only way we can navigate it is to become a spider. There's some mystery out there, maybe more than one. People like me, well, we're not wrapping fuckheads like you in finest silk. Well, we're trying to get to the bottom of what we are, why we are this way, and if there's a way to stop it. It all started in Japan for us with our family head, but it didn't stay there for long. Gang pact. We Ochos are more of a gang than a family, though if you hold with all the blood oaths, we're more a family than a gang. You ain't ever leaving the 8 hands once you're with us. You'll get your palms greasy and fingers sticky just like the rest of us, stealing, sneaking, murdering. But we look out for each other. Someone's got to. Mom and Dad suck. The oldest Ocho become bloody parasites, don't they? Yeah, they won't think twice about eating their own young if it makes their web a little stronger. What blows my mind is they think it's fair and right. They work for what they've got, so we should be thanking them with our blood. Arseholes. They don't call themselves parasites, obviously, but we do. To their faces. I like the Ochos. I'm liking the Spider Bros. Big fan of this. You won't see us coming. People think that just because they can't see us, we're more static and controlled than the Get a Leica or the Hides and the rest. Out of sight, out of mind, right? Nah, we just know the best places to hide when we hunt. You best not cross us when we do, because we never go home on an empty belly. It's bad for your health. Well, worse for your health than mine, if you catch the meaning. It's better to create than to destroy. Look, I don't hold it against them or nothing, but I feel bad for those other families who can't help but go off on a primal bender, you know? Sure, we lose our shit too. But while they're working out the best way to take someone apart, we're thinking about what to build with the remains. I don't mean just from people, fuckwit. I mean from the businesses we take down, the property we steal, the tech we play with. We're engineers, mechanics. The rest of them need to make sure they leave enough for us to play construction set. I love the Ochos. So far, I mean, first Primal, but so far best Primal. Relations. The only reason I don't like the Hides is because they think as apex humans. Aha, Hides are humans. Aha, I knew it. Primal humans, apex humans. Ooh, That looks interesting. The fact that the ooh, shifters. Okay, I'm excited to meet the hides. They're owed all the indoor spaces. Didn't check with us, did ya, you fucking freak? I love the Ochos. The spawn of Vodnik are some kind of cult, aren't they? Always congregating together, singing songs to the sea. Yeah, I'm happier skulking in a cellar than dancing with the deep, so I leave them to it. The lichens ain't so bad and don't brood as much as the snakes or shout as much as the hides, so they've got that going for them. Look past their instinctive desire to rip and rend, and you'll probably find a mate under all that fur. Bloody hell, Raptor. Crack a smile once in a blue moon. Sure, we're all fucking cursed, but things ain't gonna get any better with you treating every day like a fresh funeral. Yeah, I get what it's like to be hungry. I reckon we could teach him a couple of 3 things about hunting, though. Me? Pay less attention to my appetite if I've got a project going. Sorcerers see the strings of fate and fae everywhere, so sign me up to drink whatever they're drinking. That said, sometimes a web is just a web. Best way to unravel it is to find the beginning and start tugging instead of sticking your head right in the middle like a twat. Others call us were-spiders and the formal 8 hands. Truth is, some of us are were-other bugs, but arachnids rule the web. These days, the 8 hands is a good identifier. Within our family, we call each other mates, the cluster, or ocho. If you know someone well, you might call them by their actual name. Just remember, parasite's a parasite. Don't dignify your elders with respect they don't deserve unless they do something to earn it. We use our magic to, you guessed it, weave webs, physical and relating to information. You want to hide something? We got a spell for that. You want to trap someone? Come to us. You want a mystery unraveled? Well, if your sorcerer friends aren't free, come strum my string. Alright, so what happens when I inevitably pick an Ocho as my major path? Let's see. Enigmas, larceny, and technology makes sense for what they described. Mental and physical, all high, low social. Checks out. Let's see. Access to the dark web, a remote cabin, microtechnology, pest control, and hidden passages. This is all I want. This is everything I want out of life. Secret spells, camouflage, and tenuous sight. Okay. Major path inheritance. The web you weave is your lifeblood to information. Once per scene, you can use any contact that belongs to anyone you have a bond with as though they were your own contact. This ignores any complications that would apply for tapping a contact more than once in a scene. Interesting. So your contacts are my contacts. That's actually really cool. Yeah, okay. I kinda dig that. Okay. Yeah, that's an interesting little inheritance thing. I thought I wasn't sure if it was going to be some kind of like more sort of combat or action. It's purely almost entirely social informational, but it's a good one, especially if in a party where people have actually picked proper contacts. So that's actually pretty cool. Let's see motifs. After casting a spell with the physical attunement, you may reflexively move up to 2 range bands as long as you end in cover. Cool. Yeah, that's never mind that. So basically, any physical spells, you get to hide. That's nice. That's sneaking. Yeah, cool. I like it. You're constantly moving, hiding, undercover, crawling around, being a spider. The hold or bleed cost to cast spells with the liminal attunement is reduced by 1. Okay, cool. And when casting attack spells, gain +1 enhancement that stacks if your target has not yet acted in the round. So if you're springing a trap, you're better at that. Cool. You know how to take advantage of a trap sprung. I like that. Play an Ocho if you want to set snares and traps for unwary intruders. Yes. Delve into the deepest mysteries of primal existence. Probably. Play an alien-minded bug person who won't hesitate to kill if it means advancing their cause. Yes, 1,000 times yes. I feel that. I feel it in my heart that I want to be an alien-minded bug person who won't hesitate to kill if it means advancing their cause. That is everything I long for right now. So anyway, based on the 8 hands alone, best game ever, I believe, is our review so far. A big fan of these guys. They are fun. I like the fiction. I like how they're being portrayed. I like information powers. Cool. This is cool stuff. All right. And now we're going from the highest highs to the lowest lows. I'm prejudging the werewolves. This is on me. I am a bad person. Get of Leica. Family is more than a word. I'm going to stop you before you use the words rabid or chaotic to describe my family. We're hurricanes of fur and fangs and not to be fucked with. Okay, you're cool. Let's talk. Yeah, sometimes family is fucked up, but we're a family of choice. You stick with us and we'll show you how to direct the storm in your blood. Sometimes you'll want to howl and sometimes you'll want to bite a face off. You just need to learn who to howl at and who to maul. It was your fury that cursed you. Something pushed you too far, or maybe nobody ever told you when to stop. You laid down a beating, screamed at your bully, or broke through the door. Whatever. The wolf started howling, and we howled back. You're as strong as your weakest packmate. It's not an excuse to cut the runt from the litter. There are too few of us to be benching the ones who struggle. This is why other families send their stragglers to us for wisdom, guidance, and let's be honest, so someone can teach them how to fight. Unleash the lightning. Thunder comes before the lightning. Let the thunder fill you with strength and unbridle that storm on some deserving cause. Oh yeah, it doesn't always need to be violence, Barbie. The roll of thunder can push to all kinds of victories. All right, this is supposed to be Izzy, and I'm doing a bro voice. Oh well. We understand their fear. In that case, I'm just going to go back to normal voice if this is supposed to be Izzy. We understand their fear. Red in tooth and claw, that's us. It takes a special kind of sick fuck to really enjoy chewing a guy to death, but it's difficult to stop once you get a taste for blood. Just plan ahead so you're not murdering some poor prick who doesn't deserve it. Get the exceptionalism out of your head. Here we go. Some lichens call themselves the Bisclavret. Yeah, real roll-off-the-tongue assholes. They're old, and they think death in battle, for us younger lichens specifically, is the greatest thing, that humans are beneath us and need shepherding. Because you're a werewolf, you're better than a raptor or whatever. Fuck all that. You're accursed. You have gifts, but that doesn't make you a god or next step in evolution. Good. I'm glad they're calling out the assholes, the people who drove me away from original werewolf in the beginning. I like that. I like this whole entire paragraph here can stay word for word. All right. I have notes on many other things, but this can stay word for word. No notes. All good. Solid. Green check mark. Claim and protect. We don't carve up the map out of greed. We do it because there are people and places that need protecting. We may be cursed, but we have the energy in us to act as guards one day, hunters the next. Their pain is our pain. They say canines can sniff out cancer. I don't know. I do know that when a cousin's hurt, you lick their wounds. Figuratively, Barb. And get them back in the race. You gotta know when to bite, when to hold back, and when to help your packmates back to their feet, okay? Howl like nobody's listening. All that said, we can be violent. We can be killers. And yeah, we're fucking good at it. If it comes to a scrap, put your money on Wolfie and give your family a celebratory howl when the other bastard drops. Relations. The Sphinx want us to think they're so fucking lazy, but it's obvious. They're planning the next big heist, moving only when they need to. I admire them, but detest them. You know? The spawn of Vodnik are fucking weird, but you won't find a better spotter. Don't underestimate them. Just because they're shifty and quiet doesn't mean they're not listening. The Hyde family, give me the creeps. Elvis told me they were on the wrong side of all Primal up until like 10 years ago or something like that. I don't see why we should trust them. The Raptors are supposed to be the wisest and oldest of us, leading us in unity, but it's all frayed, Barbie. The gap between young and old is only deepening, and while I know plenty of young primals who want to learn from their elders, the ancient shifters just want to use us and dump our bodies. Look, I respect them, but maybe they need to rethink things? Don't tell them that. Hungry, like the wolf, right? No? Never mind. They could teach us a bit about gluttony. I'm telling you, she is from the 80s. She needs to stop hanging around teenagers. Hungry like the wolf. Let's see here. They could teach us a bit about gluttony, though. Get who lose their way and stay in their wild form for too long should spend time with the hungry to learn about restraint. Just avoid the heirs. They don't like us much, and the feeling's pretty fucking mutual. The outcasts know some weird shit about the world. We'll mark a map and say, this place is mine. And they'll say, think twice. A cult runs that building and uses it to summon demons that compel local deli owners to put MSG into their sandwiches or something. How are we supposed to know that? kind of dig that. Kind of dig that. Other people call us the Get, spirit dogs, or sometimes werewolves because everyone knows that word. If a dick calls you rabid, show his dick how rabid you really are. Among the family, we call ourselves Lycans, or just werewolves. Like I said earlier, some of the older family members call themselves Bisclavret, but I really recommend doing your best to avoid them. Stay off the radar, out of their territory. Elitist fucks. We use our magic to detect people and creatures interfering with our territory and make ourselves better hunters. The pack is family, so if we can work a spell that increases the strength of our bonds and heals our sick and dying, we'll do it. No forcing people, though. This family is always a choice. Again, they're kind of making a point of keeping the sort of interesting parts about werewolves and then making a point of like, hey, no forcing. The ones who think like old World of Darkness werewolves are assholes, and no, you can't play those guys. I like this. I like this overall. Let's see. Past skills, culture, empathy, and medicine. Look at that. Look at that. You would have thought it would all been in like close combat, distance combat, close combat again. But no. I mean, still big focus on physical, social, cool. Access to park ranges, because from bombardment. What even is that? Why is that the werewolf spell? Oh, I would love to know what the fuck that is. Why would that be a werewolf like secret spell? Park rangers, civic organizations, pet rescue center, ex-convicts, local music scene, major path inheritance. The intensity of your bestial nature gives you punches and clawing attacks additional ferocity. All your unarmed attacks carry the brutal and wounding tags. All right, if you choose to be mostly werewolf. Bombardment with thunder. They mentioned that earlier. Yes, there's a lot of thunder, and that worried me for a second. All the reference to thunder and lightning, because well, yeah, there are certain people. Again, the real world, there's so many associations with like the wrong kinds. So I worried for a second, but yeah, maybe it could be something like that, I guess. See, again, look, here we go. Yeah. When casting a spell with the elemental attunement, bleed one additional curse die to apply the elemental attunement for lightning on all your mundane attacks for the rest of the scene. So yeah, they want to be, you want to be thunder wolves, you want to be lightning wolves. There is a Raiju wolf kind of vibe to it. They definitely, the thunder and lightning are theirs. Interesting. Okay, yeah, shockwave, casting spells with, yeah, so like, okay, cool. I kind of dig that. Play a Lycan if you want to hunt down the deserving to protect your territory, form a family to defend the weakest among you, make significant changes to the world around you, albeit with unpredictable consequences. Folks, I'm gonna be honest. I think the get of Laika, rather than receiving a cursed, we'll get a full wow from me. I'm surprisingly impressed. I don't hate this. I don't hate this at all. I don't know if I would see myself necessarily playing this over, say, an Ocho right now. Ochos are just too dope. But in lack of an Ocho to play, I don't hate this. I did not expect to not hate it. You know, it's not too bad. Yeah, there's good changes overall, Phoenix. Yeah, it's not the worst. It is there is still, like, you know, it's a little bit of everything. It's still focused on physical, and your spells and magic and all this stuff is still physical, and you're still, like, you know, you're a warrior, but now being a powerful warrior is not only restricted to just werewolves, because the wild form, which apparently seems to be the only one, like, you know, my theory on the other forms has yet to be proven, but the wild form bonuses, yeah, are the same for everybody. So, like, no one type of shifter has necessarily a monopoly on violence, if you will, right? So yeah, I you know what, the official actual werewolves within their shifter lineage, within the primals, not bad. They sort of take care of or address the bulk of the stuff that I hated in the original older versions. In fact, they take it to task a little, which I appreciate. But also, what is presented here is a good. I hesitate to say it, but it's a good take, I think, on a lot of this. Of the still the core concepts are there. This is still very recognizably what you expect with werewolves. A lot of the talk there and what they do, but it is presented in a much more holistic kind of way, rather than just like a we are combat monkeys and combat monkeys we shall always be kind of way. So I like this. I like this. I'm curious to see, and I would be surprised if we don't see at some point some kind of like splat books, basically, for the various types. Like I'm sure we'll get actual books going deeper into the politics within each family and all that stuff. But that's going to be a lot. Like I suspect it's going to be more like lineage books. And then within the lineages books, we'll have like chapters dedicated to each family, so they'll expand on a lot of this stuff. So I'm curious to see them expand. I mean, we're already seeing hints of that stuff here, right? We're seeing hints of those balaclava or whatever folks that are like, kind of those old school, more racist werewolves, and stuff like that. So I've good. They are. The more we go on, the more I want to know about the various families and groups. I think we are being presented with, this is Kickstarter early information, right? There's going to be more in the final book as well. So not to take that this is all we're getting of these various families in the book. I'm sure we are getting more about the various families in the book, and also I think some of the fiction that is getting commissioned as well. I think by now they've reached some of the fiction levels in the Kickstarter, and I think they specifically said that the fiction that is planned to show a lot more of the interactions between the different families and across lineages and stuff. So they're definitely got enough stuff that I can see the kind of deep and then really complex cross lineage politics and world building that I did kind of actually love on the old World of Darkness. I mean, look, the old World of Darkness world was very convoluted, but at the same time, look here, I'm hoping you can control how convoluted you want it to get, but I like the option. I like that there's enough here that you can definitely make some really, like, the more eventually, once this is all done, you want to read and reread this, because right now, like in World of Darkness, yeah, I can think of immediate, like, with this one kith of changelings interacting with this one clan of vampires and this one tradition of mages, what those would look like right off the top of my head. Here, I don't remember. Like, if you tell me about a specific type of dead right now, I'm not going to remember the details. I would have to look at the book again. They're not ingrained in me quite like old World of Darkness stuff is, but I can see it becoming ingrained and crafting those kinds of theories and world building on it. I like what they're doing here, and again, I will, as we draw the stream to an end, because it is about time for me to kind of call it a day for today. I will once again give the give the official werewolves within Curseborne the highest honor this stream has to give. The little Dan Jack, soy Dan, there. So I'm gonna just take us back out here, folks. We had fun together, haven't we? We've had fun. My face is not as well lit when I don't have a big bright white PDF. There we go. Just light up your life with a gaming PDF. Look, folks, I've enjoyed today. Today has been fun. Today has been wonderful. I did not know what to expect with the primals. I really didn't. This could have been horrible. I have so many preconceptions. I have some anger issues in me. Perhaps ironically, given that Werewolf the Ragening is all about that, I have some issues to work out with the wolves. But this that we're seeing here is good. I'm gonna just go out and say it. It's so far, I like it. It's pretty basic. It's pretty basic, but that's not a bad thing. It takes it back to basics in a lot of ways. Leaves behind, or just leaves in its proper place, as in the past, and look down upon certain of the old traditions and the old cruff that made old World of Darkness werewolves such a problematic beast. Yeah, overall, I'm really enjoying what they've done with Curseborne and the wolves here. So with that in mind, tomorrow we're gonna be looking at the rest of the where are they? Yeah, there we go. Here, the rest of the these accursed, the raptors. We'll see the hides. I'm real excited about the hides. We're gonna see a lot more stuff, but that will definitely be tomorrow. And just as a quick reminder, it's on the chat now. There's our schedule tomorrow, 2 p.m. to, just like today, 5 p.m. Eastern. I will be doing more of this, and we'll be doing more of this pretty much the rest of the month. It is, in fact, kind of out of default, just because it takes me so long to get through this Curseborne month. Fits in because it's Halloweeny. So excited for more of this. Primals tomorrow. Tomorrow, hopefully, Catgirls. Look forward to that. Otherwise, have yourselves an absolutely wonderful day, night, evening, morning, whatever time zone you find yourselves in. And I hope I will see you during tomorrow's stream. Have a good time, and bye-bye. Wait, why do I always have the wrong button when it's time to say goodbye?